Be cool, be kind, be classy. The cupcakes are sweet and sexy. Have fun and enjoy the journey. Just have a good attorney. No big whoop, no biggie. She lives near New York City. And not just a YouTube show. When you know, you better grab a straw. Learn about the law. It's cool here in the shade. Sipping motions of lemonade. Cool heads will prevail. Kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Oh, Melanie Little is going live. Oh no, where is Melanie? Follow the island's melody. There's a concert within reach. No surprise, she's at Jones Beach. She heard some music far away. Captain Jack's at Harbor Bay. He sings and his piano plays. Not all sounds are waterways. Speaking Yiddish or Latin, it's not just for Manhattan. It's for Goethe and Machegas. Ridiculous that insanus. Oy vey, Marcus. Proset, that's for schmucks. Be cool, be kind, be classy. My cupcakes are sweet and sassy. And not just a YouTube show. When you know. Cool heads will prevail. Kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Melanie Little is going live.
Hello, my friends, and thank you so much for coming back to hang out with me for a little bit longer today, January 30th, 2026. I come to you with the very sad breaking news that the Queen, Catherine O'Hara, has passed. You may know Catherine O'Hara from such things as Home Alone, Schitt's Creek, Beetlejuice. There she is. There's a picture of the Queen. Only 71 years old. 71 years young. I'm devastated. Best in Show. CAA, her agency, confirmed her passing today, sharing a statement to page 6 of the New York Post that said, "We are saddened to announce the passing of Catherine O'Hara. Her cause of death is unclear. She is survived by her husband of 33 years, Bob Welch, and their 2 sons, Matthew, 31, and Luke, 29. She was with Second City TV. That's where she started off her career. In Canada, in Toronto, in 1974. Oh, I'm devastated. Sorry to bring you the bad news, but Megan sent it to me also. I had already seen it, but Megan sent it. She was devastated as well. Okay, moving on, because this is a 2:00 hearing, and hopefully they're going to put the Zoom on for us, because we're here for it. May she rest in peace, Catherine O'Hara, one of the greats, 71 years old. It's too young. It's too young. If you are not familiar with the Alex Greene case, that is what we are covering today. There are extensive show notes below this video. If you've been in the chat since I teleported you over here, you may need to refresh your browser to access the show notes. First thing I would like to show you, because I just found this the other day, is the March 17th, 2025 arraignment video for Alex Greene. Let's take a look. You might recognize someone in this video. One moment. And then we're going to flip over to the bail hearing. So please familiarize yourself with the notes, because we don't have a lot of time. This hearing is 5 minutes. And then I also have some video from outside the scene when the body of Tony Johnson was found. This is from hyannisnews.com. Go over and give him a sub over there on YouTube, doing the Lord's work. And this is from March 17th. And look who his attorney was at that time. Our friend, Tom Kokonowski. Here we go.
Commonwealth versus Alex Greene. Allegation March 16th, in time for Barnstable, one count of murder. Not guilty pleas are being entered at this time. We have.
All right, Mr. Greene, you have the right to have a lawyer represent you. Counsel has been appointed to represent you on this case. I'm required to advise you that if you're charged with any new crimes while this case is pending, you could be held without bail on this case. So the Commonwealth is asking for that you'll be held without bail.
That's
All right, can I hear a little bit about the case?
Yes, on March 16th of this year.
Sorry to interrupt, but we are stipulating, we have an agreement without prejudice.
Can you guys hear this? I think I need to boost it for you. Yeah. Hold on. Where's my booster? That is our friend, Tom Kokonowski. He tried the Brian Camp case. That's where we found him. He lives on the Cape.
This case is pending, you could be held without bail on this case. So the Commonwealth is asking for that you'll be held without bail.
That is
All right, can I hear a little bit about the case?
Yes, on March 16th of this year.
Sorry to interrupt, but we are stipulating, we have an agreement without prejudice. Otherwise, we actually don't have to.
Okay, is that,
Yes.
or is there anything you want to put on the record about the case?
Judge, I'm happy to give the court just some preliminary
Yeah.
facts about the case. So on March 16th at approximately 1 o'clock in the morning, Barnstable police received several 911 calls regarding a shooting on North Street parking lot behind Puritan and Cape Cod, located at 408 Main Street, Hyannis. When officers arrived, they observed a male lying on his back in between two parked cars with what appeared to be a gunshot wound to his face. Officer also located one spent shell casing and one live round of ammunition near the victim's body. The victim was identified as Tony Johnson. While officers worked on Mr. Johnson, they began participating in life-saving measures. He was transported to Cape Cod Hospital, where he ultimately was declared deceased at approximately 1:30 in the morning. While officers were performing life-saving measures, they also received information that there was a dark-colored pickup truck traveling at a high rate of speed heading into the town of Yarmouth. They further received information that that truck was parked at a convenience store parking lot. That information came from a 911 caller who was identified as this defendant's wife, who was seated in the passenger seat of that car. When police arrived in Yarmouth, they found the truck, they found the passenger door open to the vehicle, and the passenger side was empty. A female was standing at the rear of the car, motioning to officers towards a firearm that was located on the ground. In the driver's side of the car, with his hands up in the air and sobbing, was the defendant, Victoria.
Okay, just so you're not confused. That is not Judge Cannone. This is from March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, 2025. So not even a year ago. This is when it was in district court. Okay. It has been transferred to Plymouth Superior because allegedly there's a conflict. The victim, Tony Johnson, it says in the article that I read, has a conflict and had a relationship with somebody in this court. And so they moved it to Plymouth Superior. What we are going to watch today is in Plymouth Superior in front of Judge Cannone. This is his original district court appearance, March 17th, 2025.
Police then secured the firearm that was located on the ground outside of the truck. They then approached the defendant. They asked him if he was all right. He stated he believed he was. They observed a reddish liquid which appeared to be blood on his facial area and asked him if he had had a bloody nose. He stated he had not. He stated he was not punched and he wasn't aware of any injuries or anything that he had. After officers secured the defendant, they then went through a search of the car to make sure there were no additional firearms. They did locate 3 boxes of ammunition in the center console. Officers then transported this defendant back to the police station. In transit, he was suffering from what appeared to be a medical emergency that was, they were concerned for an overdose. Ultimately, he was transported to the hospital before he brought back to the police station. Officers did a preliminary investigation, spoke to several witnesses, where they learned that the victim, Mr. Johnson, was behind Puritan and was urinating next to a car. He had exposed himself to this defendant twice, at which point the defendant then shot Mr. Johnson in the head. These facts were ultimately confirmed by.
Can you guys even understand what they're saying? I have the captions up for you, but the decedent, 41-year-old Tony Johnson, who was a black man, was shot point blank in the face by this defendant, Alex Greene, who was a white man, who was going to start his job as a deputy at the Barnstable Sheriff's Department the following week because Tony Johnson was taking a leak in the parking lot outside the bar, and Alex Greene's wife went over to him and said, "Why don't you do that inside? There's a bathroom inside." And then it's alleged that Tony Johnson said to her, the DA said that he exposed himself to her. I think her story was, he said, "Do you want to see what I can do with this?" This man, the defendant, Alex Greene, was sitting in his truck, came over with his service revolver and shot him in the right point blank in the face. Killed him. This is the original arraignment. He is out on bail now. You are confused. I would make a banner, except I didn't have enough time. So this is the March 17th, 2025 arraignment. He was held without bail for quite some time until the case got to Cannone in October. And then because of his diabetes, which he was just diagnosed with the night that he shot Tony Johnson in the face, Judge Cannone said, well, because of his diabetes, I'm going to let him out on a $100,000 bail. All right, here we go.
All right, so the agreement is that Mr. Greene be held without bail, without prejudice. So we'll schedule this for a LWOP hearing date, or where you want to put it on?
We got that, given the date that I just asked for. I'm sorry, yeah. At the moment, Jeff?
This was Barnstable District Court.
Sure.
April 7th?
April 7th?
Please.
All right, April 7th, for probable cause, the defendant's held without bail.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Alex Greene has now hired Rosemary Scapicchio and Kevin Reddington, and those are the two attorneys who were involved when, yes, we did go over Aiden's hearing. We were there all morning for 3.5 hours. If you didn't watch it, go back and watch it later, or go back and watch it now if you want. A view is a view. Yay, we love Tom Kokonowski. Shout out to Hyannis News on YouTube. Go give him a sub. Okay. Here is the original police footage, or no, the footage of this reporter from Hyannis News who's doing the Lord's work, went down to the scene, and this was the scene. It's about 10 minutes long, so I may have to cut it if the judge comes on the bench for the bond reconsideration hearing. There's also another hearing that's happening at 2 p.m. in front of Judge Cannone. So we may watch another hearing before we watch Alex Greene's hearing, but in the meantime, I'm going to put this up for you to watch while I go log into the Zoom, okay? Okay, here we go.
On the line, saying they heard a gunshot, nail on the ground. 251's off. Steve, 251. Shot wound to the head. 374 copies. Gunshot wound to the head. Start us all available units. Received. 213-229-230. It's going to be a dark color 1500 pickup truck. Left North Street over towards center. High rate of speed. Received. Relatively new truck. Received. Relatively new truck. 250374. Go ahead. You're the call on the line female stating her husband is the suspect. She's with him somewhere on Willow Street, Yarmouth Road. Trying to get further info. Steve, can you ping that phone? Notify state police in Yarmouth. Received. Go ahead. Just run a name. Hold it. Go ahead. First name Josh, 5 of 81. Received. 250374. Go ahead. Suspects pulled over at Cape Food Mart off Yarmouth Road. Received. 235. 235 going off there now. Received. 74250. Yarmouth and State Police headed that way. Received. 374 from 235. I am off with that vehicle, and I call up that plate in 1 second. Everything is 10-4 right here, so people can slow down. Units just responder, Yarmouth Road can slow down. Just be advised, 235, that female states the signal 140 should be on the ground by her.
Received, I have that. That vehicle is going to be 5 Papa Delta Lima 92.
Received. 235, that.
Oh, wait. Sorry. I don't know what just happened. What just happened? Hold on.
State and Yarmouth notified.
213 is going off. Keep for Mark.
Copy, 213.
374 235. We're going to need to take these 2 individuals back to the station, keep them separated.
235 copies.
The 420.
Go ahead. Received.
I'm off at Cape Food Mart. Going to get rescue here.
Received.
I'll be transporting the female party from that vehicle back to the station, starting mileage 22738.
126.
Look, they found caution tape. They found police tape. Can you believe it?
You're not gonna need this box, right?
Give it back to Pete.
Yeah.
Pete had it, I guess. I don't know where you got it from.
Crazy, right? There's a mic in the courtroom. There he is in the car. Did you hear what he just said? You know my family. Wait, listen to that again. They're putting him in the car. He just said, seriously? There's no captions. Isn't that what it sounded like? Seriously? You know my family? No, we didn't get to that hearing yet. It's starting at 2. Starting at 2. We're doing a little pre-work. We're doing a little prep before.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Bobby, or I would have her do this.
There's the Willow Packy store. The Willow Packy. Shout out to Rob Bastille, Tarot Queen Bo. Thank you. Exactly. It's like a don't you know who I am type situation. Well, listen, he was about to start a job as a deputy at the Barnstable Sheriff's Office the following week. His excuse, and the reason that Judge Cannone let him out on bail finally, is because he was just diagnosed with diabetes, which he says made him irrational and crazy, which caused him to shoot a man point blank in the face. He's also a firearms instructor, this guy. Yes. He's out on bail now, yes. Extensive show notes below the video. He went unconscious, but not until he was already in the police car, like on the way. Then he went unconscious, and then they used Narcan, and they were able to revive him. I don't know if they took his blood alcohol content. Huh. Thank you for appreciating my show notes. This is in Barnstable, yeah. This is a Hyannis bar called the Auld Triangle. Hi, Makazi G. Yes, Mandy, different case. All right, shout out to Rob Bastille. Let's get on over to the Zoom. I don't know, someone named Kevin Reardon, I guess, is running this Zoom. This is going to be Judge Cannone in Plymouth Superior, everyone. They did test his blood sugar level after when he was in the hospital, and that's when they allegedly found out that he was a diabetic, and Judge Cannone's reasoning for letting him out. There he is. Was because of his diabetes. And this is a motion by the Commonwealth to reconsider the bail situation. The Commonwealth is like, yeah, we don't want this guy out. But I don't think this is him.
Velasquez, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hi.
Different case. This is the first case.
Is your microphone off?
I don't think they can hear me.
Yeah, we got our audio's on. Can you hear us over here?
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear? We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Go ahead, you can speak.
I don't know what she said. Testing. Can we be heard?
About the camera.
Yeah, theirs are all muted. I don't know why. Unmuted. Testing. Hello. Can you hear us?
Mr. Officer, can you hear me?
We can hear you with no problem, Your Honor. Can you hear? We have Carlos Velasquez before us. Can you hear me?
This is the case before Alex Greene. So we're going to watch this case first. We're going to see if the judge is in a good mood today.
Can you hear me? Can you speak? Because I need to talk to the officer behind you.
Miss, we can hear you.
Yes.
Can you hear
No,
us?
you're not coming through my system. However, because your attorney is on trial right now, this hearing's not going to take place until a little after 3 o'clock. Is it possible to have you back on at that time?
I gotta talk to my supervisor.
Yeah,
Can
I
you hear
can't
me?
hear anything that you're saying.
Because you're muted.
All right.
He's got this on mute.
Hold on.
They don't have their speaker on or something. I can't help them. I don't know how to tell them how to work their technology. I feel like I hear Rosemary Scapicchio.
Let's try this out. Hold on here. They can't see that. No, this ain't gonna work. Let me try to log
I
in.
couldn't read that.
I know. You can't hear me.
Marker.
I should try to log in. Honestly, this one sucks. She can't hear me.
You guys are fine. It's the court with the problem.
1 second.
You guys are fine, officer.
Is your volume turned on?
Yes.
Your speaker isn't turned on.
Why can I not hear you?
Because you need to go off.
Let me log over.
Can you redo up the first session just to have Sarah run down here? I've already sent her a text. I don't know why. Oh, they just cut off.
Can I tell them that they have an echo? I don't think they want to hear from me. Oh, you know what else I did? Guys, I ordered the FDR recording for the John Kerry motions in limine hearing that was held. There's on that on Monday, and that's regarding the 1986 murder of Claire Gravel.
The DA's here, if Alexander Zane gets over here. Oh, all right, because I'll do it right after.
Don? Don?
So maybe they just took them off because,
Technology is not their friend. I mean, listen, this Zoom became popular in 2020. Like everybody's had like 5 years to get used to it. Yeah, they can put men on the moon, but they can't do a Zoom. Right, Charlie? Charlie can see it all the way from down under. Hi, Charlie. Thanks for tuning in. Donkey's noggin says, let's be honest. The almighty little, we watch your lives because we want to be on your yacht. LOL. Yada, yada, yada. Yada, yada, yada. I know it. It's for your 5. I'll allow it. Oh, I don't know. Maybe somebody could type, but I think the corrections officer who's with him, I think he's in custody. This guy, his name's
so is there something I'm doing wrong on my?
Carlos Velasquez. If anybody wants to, Velasquez, VELAZQUEZ. If anybody wants to look up what he's charged with, I suppose I could do that for you. Do that for you guys. I remember one day we were sitting here, we had a whole bunch of cases and we looked up what every single person was charged with. One person had like 2 tons of cocaine.
Is that what I need? I don't know why there's an echo.
Thank you, little cupcake.
I think it's the mute on that thing. Click off that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'm still echoing. I'm coming through somewhere.
Dawn?
Oh, yes?
It's Karen. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Oh,
Okay,
you heard my whole thing. Can I hear you?
I could hear you and I could hear the House of Correction or wherever he is. I could hear everything.
Because he doesn't have headphones in there. That's why you're hearing it coming out of
Oh.
here. So that's
Okay, did he say he was gonna put him on at 3 o'clock?
So yeah, check with the supervisor.
He had to check with his supervisor.
Was that?
3 o'clock, yeah.
Oh, all right. That better? Oh, yeah, I got the right hole. Yep. Okay, good, I'm good. Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Karen. Oh, isn't this fun? Isn't this fun? What else will we be doing today, you guys? Did Brendan Banfield, is the jury out? On Brendan Banfield? You guys who are watching that trial? Mass Courts is buffering and buffering and buffering, so I can't find anything for you on Carlos Velasquez. Jury's out. Okay, how long do you think it's going to take the jury on Brendan Banfield? And what did you think of his testimony? The other guys can't. Oh, the daily affirmation, we did it this morning, so I'll read it again to you. Wait, that's from the other day. And my new prop I wanted to show you right here, the world's tiniest leaf blower. Look at that. Do you love it? We read one this morning because this is our second stream of the day. We had over 10,000 people in here for Aidan Carney's hearing. That was amazing. And it says, is this the one from this morning? My unique spirit brings shit tons of light to the world. My unique spirit brings shit tons of light to the world. That's our badass affirmation of the day. Okay, they've now muted, so they are now muted. I am also muted. I don't think anybody on the Zoom is watching me, so we're not going to have the issue where I come through the court Zoom because somebody has their tab open of me and somebody is not muted. Court needs to learn how to mute everyone automatically. It has to be like an automatic setting. Like when people come on, they have to automatically mute them and only unmute them if, it's an attorney who's actually speaking on the case and not a public member of the public. Gigi's here. She's got my back and she sends $20. Thank you, Gigi. You're the best. You're the best. Listen, with regard to Brendan Banfield, anybody who's ever watched a Lifetime movie ever knows you never hire an au pair. You never hire an au pair. You just don't. They're trouble. They're trouble. Anybody not know what an au pair is? An au pair is a young girl who comes from a foreign country, gets a special visa to come here to do childcare for a family. Usually, I remember back in the day when I was looking for an au pair, they were like $170 a week you would pay them. But they come to the US, they want to party, they want to use your car. I decided it was not a good idea. We didn't miss anything because nothing's happening yet. I don't know why my phone keeps ringing when it's on Do Not Disturb. I don't know why. Why? And it's all spam. I got about 20 spam calls a day telling me that I've been approved for a loan that I did not apply for. And they have this new thing where they say, hey, this is Kay. Oh, I see I spy Kevin Reddington and Rosemary Scapicchio. This courtroom is set up much like the Karen Reed courtroom with the prosecutor's bench attached to the judge's bench as if they are one, because they are one. And then here's Kevin Reddington back there. He's a fan, Kevin Reddington is a cupcake. Even though he represented Jennifer McCabe, Kevin Reddington is a cupcake because he once said in open court when he was looking for change of venue on Harry Turk, he said, listen, there is one YouTuber who is covering this. Her name is Melanie Little. She's a New York attorney and she's very credible. He said that. You guys sent it to me. I remember I was on an airplane. And there's Rosemary Scapicchio right here on the left-hand side. Here's the ADA, I imagine, in front. I'm not sure what her name is, but we will find out. We have seen courtrooms, though, that are not like that in Massachusetts. That's why I say that. Some are not. Not every single one of them is like that. And if you are just joining, welcome. There are extensive show notes below this video for you to catch up on the Alex Greene case. A lot of people are calling this a racial issue. Black victim, white defendant, with connections to the Barnstable Sheriff's Department, apparently. It's Judge Cannone. Thank you, Nicole, for looking it up. Carlos Velasquez, that was the guy we first saw who's coming back at 3, brutally attacked and beat a 74-year-old man to death with a hammer in Brockton in 2013, but he said he took several steps to hide his involvement afterwards. Wow, that's an old case. That case is 12 years old. You sure he's not up for something else? Thanks for doing the Lord's work back there. Momo Shark is here for Rosemary. Bonita Rainey says there was a new case on Boston 25 yesterday. MSP officer shot his police girlfriend in Massachusetts. Wow. You want to send me a link to the Boston 25's article? My email is fanbase@mlittlelaw.com. Fanbase@mlittlelaw.com. I would do it myself, except I like to talk to you guys and I can't do both because although I am a great multitasker, it's hard. Yes, you too, Gloria? She says, I'm getting the calls from predatory lenders every day, like 20 plus calls at all different numbers. Me too. I block them all and other numbers just pop up. Same. I've not asked anyone for a loan. They're trying to get you. And it's like, hey, this is Ashley calling from so-and-so. You've been approved for that loan you were trying to get. I'm like, I haven't been trying to get a loan. I don't know how to make them stop calling me. I don't know if the do not call thing is still in existence, but they need to stop calling me. Yes, we covered Catherine O'Hara at the top of the hour. Very sad. Very, very, very sad. She's my queen. I said Queen Catherine O'Hara has passed away. 71, so young, no cause of death yet has been announced. Of course, TMZ was first on it, but New York Post was second. For those of my West Coast friends, I'm sure you already know that there is the California Post now. That's a thing. I already have the app. I'm ready to go. A lot of people in the courtroom for this one. You know my family. Is that his whole family? There's more people in this courtroom right now for this hearing of Alex Greene than there were in the courtroom for the Brendan Banfield trial when I saw it yesterday.
Court is now in session. You may be seated.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. May I proceed?
Please.
Your Honor, the first matter we have before the court today is Commonwealth versus Alex Greene. Mr. Greene is present. He is represented by Attorney Rosemary Scapicchio and Attorney Kevin Reddington. The Commonwealth is represented by Assistant District Attorney Alexandra Isaacs.
Hi. Good afternoon, Ms. Isaacs. Good afternoon, Mr. Reddington. Good afternoon, Ms. Scapicchio.
Yeah.
And good afternoon, Mr. Greene.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Greene, I appreciate you dressing respectfully for court today, sir. You can have a seat.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so I read the Commonwealth's motion to reconsider and all the attachments. I've read the defendant's opposition to the motion to reconsider and the attachments. I'm going to hear from the Commonwealth first. I know you suggest, Ms. Scapicchio, that I shouldn't hear this part of this, but I'm going to hear the Commonwealth's argument first.
Understood. Just make sure it's over my objection, Judge.
It is.
Thank you.
All right.
Good afternoon, Your
Good
Honor.
afternoon.
For the record, Alexandra Isaacs on behalf of the Commonwealth. Your Honor, the Commonwealth has brought this motion to reconsider the court's ruling with regard to bail. And the reason the Commonwealth has brought this motion is that new information came to light after the hearing. That is that there was a lengthy discussion and argument with representations made by defense counsel about the lack of adequate medical attention that the defendant received at the facility. The entire argument was premised on representations without any medical documentation or corroboration. And as I recall, at the end of the hearing, Your Honor said that you were extremely concerned about the diabetes and that records had to be provided. Records were not provided, although it was represented by Attorney Scapicchio at the hearing that those requests had been made. As a result of that hearing, which, although I would concede that I learned a couple hours before that there would be an argument on bail, and that there were a couple sentences within the bail motion which largely focused on the victim's record regarding the diabetes and the inability for the facility to adequately treat it, new arguments were raised during the hearing, again, without any documentation. As a result of that hearing, the Commonwealth reached out to the Middlesex County Sheriff's Department and specifically General Counsel Jim Donovan. General Counsel Donovan is actually here today with records to be provided to the court should Your Honor allow my proposed order. I would suggest to the court that during those conversations, which commenced immediately following the court's ruling, it was brought to my attention that many of the allegations and representations made by defense counsel with regard to the facility's inability to care for this defendant were inaccurate. And so I felt as though it was my duty as a prosecutor, as an officer of the court, to bring that to the court's attention because Your Honor made a decision based on representations that were made that I believe as a result of my conversations to be inaccurate. And so as a result of that conversation, the Commonwealth did, as soon as it had the information it needed to, file this motion to reconsider and ask for a hearing forthwith. Attached to that is the Commonwealth affidavit where I pointed to several
I've read it.
Several inconsistencies that I believe to be true, and as well as the proposed order. And as I mentioned, there is a representative here with those records. And I would suggest to the court that an evidentiary hearing is necessary here. If I could preemptively argue the waiver issue, unless Your Honor would like me to hold off.
No, but could you tell me how often or how common an evidentiary hearing is in a bail argument?
She never
I would
does them.
suggest to the court generally, bail is fluid. We know that it's fluid. It is without prejudice. It can be argued at any time. And much like the prosecution, the defense can bring a request for a bail hearing should new information come to light.
Right. So I'm going to hear from defense now though, but an evidentiary hearing is very rare, correct?
Correct, as are rulings made based on representations that are made without documentation. There is now a very strong suggestion that they're inaccurate.
So are you telling me I'm not supposed to rely on the word of counsel?
Well, I did too, Your Honor, until I investigated further, because as an officer of the court, we have a duty to be candid and show candor to the court.
They didn't do it for
Here,
Kelsey.
I don't believe that was accurate. And so in my investigation, it was revealed that that was not accurate. And counsel has with him today, Attorney Donovan, 600 pages of medical records that I suggest are going to refute representations made by defense counsel that the defendant doesn't have vegetables, that the facility couldn't manage his condition. At the end of the day, this is a murder. This is an execution-style murder where the presumption is that the person should not be released to bail. And so there's a public safety issue here. If there is now information that has come to light that the defendant was released based on information that is not accurate, and that's from asking the court to consider. There are actual records that we can all review that I would suggest are inconsistent with what was represented to the court.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Scapicchio.
So, Judge, first, the idea that I misrepresented anything to the court is ridiculous. She's taking the word of a person from the jail who hasn't even told her what the records say, and she's saying that I'm wrong. I can't tell you how angry that makes me as a member of the bar. I've been doing this for over 30 years. I have never represented anything to the court that's not true. But for her to sit here and say, as an officer of the court, she felt obligated to do that, Judge, it's just enraging. It's enraging. And none of what she said is true. Let's start with number one. She went forward with the bail hearing. She could have said, Judge, there's these arguments at this hearing. She's talking about records. I would like to stop the hearing and get the records. We all would have said, okay, let's stop the hearing and get the records. But no, she was confident in her position. She knew everything about this case, Judge. If you look at the way that she argued this case, she knew the history, she knew my client's record, she knew what was happening as far as the victim's propensity for violence. She knew it all, and she lost. And now she's coming back to you and say, let me have a do-over. Let me do it again because I wasn't ready. If you're not ready for a hearing, you tell the judge, I'm not ready for the hearing. I need a continuance. And you would have given her continuance, I would have agreed to a continuance, and we could have done this once. You don't wait until you get a bad decision, a decision you don't agree with, and then you turn around and say, wait a minute, I wasn't prepared. That's not the way any of this works. And that's exactly what the Commonwealth did in this case. And not only did they file that motion, Judge, just so you understand, I didn't even get a phone call about it. I got a phone call from a newspaper reporter about the fact that they filed that motion. They didn't even tell me that they filed it before they filed it and called the press, okay? They're making this something that it's not. And I want to suggest to the judge, this is nothing about what they're saying. They waived their argument to say they weren't prepared. And you know and I know, people walk into this courtroom every single day, spend 5 minutes with their client, look at the records and argue bail. This isn't brain surgery here. It's not trying a homicide case here. It's arguing bail. If you need more time, you should have asked. The fact that you didn't ask is now waived. You don't get to come back and ask again for another bite at the apple. Nobody does. And then in terms of whether or not this court properly exercised discretion, Commonwealth have been making an argument that it was an abuse of discretion for you to decide to let my client out on bail. They're not making that argument. They're basically saying we want a do-over. So they're not even meeting a standard that says what you did was an abuse of discretion. They haven't argued that. They can't argue it now because they've already had the hearing, and they haven't said that anything you did was wrong, Judge. Instead, what they're saying in this case is that they were shocked by what I said. But just so we're clear, Judge, I emailed them almost 6 weeks before the hearing and said, hey, I want to talk about bail, please call me. They never do. I call them back. They never call me back. I call them and say, listen, I don't want you to be blindsided. I'm going to argue bail at this hearing. I want you to know that I have this from the victim's record. I got the federal issue as far as the federal affidavit from the victim's record, and there's an issue with my client's diabetes. Not once did the prosecutor say, wait a minute, I didn't know anything about that. Let's put the brakes on this. Do you mind if we continue it? Not once, Judge. Instead, she believed that she was going to win, and when she didn't, she tried to get a do-over. And then the third issue, Judge, is that you properly considered the medical evidence, and the Commonwealth hasn't refuted any of the medical evidence regarding Greene. So here's the situation, Judge. They represented in their motion. I don't know how they represented it, because it would be a HIPAA violation for the Commonwealth to have gone to a jail and got information about my client that wasn't pursuant to a court order, that wasn't pursuant to anything. But they write in their motion that he had access to a vegetarian diet, and that he had access to other diabetes clinics. How would they know that, Judge? Unless somebody from the jail violated HIPAA.
They
How
did
would
it
they
in
know that?
Clancy.
They can't just call and get someone's medical status, and that's exactly what they did. And they want to stand here and call me unethical? Are you kidding me? My client could sue them for what they did. Literally sue them for what they did. But let's get beyond that. So in terms of what you decided this case on, Judge, you had information in front of you that my client had been in custody, had been taken by the jail to 2 separate outside facilities. You had that information. The Commonwealth didn't dispute that information. They didn't say, wait a minute, we don't have that record. We don't know what's going on there. They said, okay, that's fine. We told you that at the bail hearing. At one point, his blood sugar was over 400, and the other time it was 667. That's crisis. Diabetic crisis is what was happening with my client. So for them to sit here and say there were no issues, why didn't they stop at the hearing and say, I'm going to need some documentation to that effect if they want documentation to that effect? Why are they coming here now, all this time later, and now suggesting there was a problem? They want to do over, Judge, and it's just not fair. They shouldn't have the opportunity to do that. And then, Judge, if you are going to ever entertain what they're saying as far as my client's medical records are concerned, I will point you to argument number 5, which is their contentions included in their motion for reconsideration are wholly unsupported.
What page are you on?
I'm on page 7, Judge.
Compare this to Lindsay Clancy.
So what I did is I asked my client to look through his file that he had from the jail and pull out all of the requests that he made for medical attention, for a vegetarian diet, for more insulin during the day, to get his insulin checked during the day. And we don't have the whole file, Judge, but whatever he had in his file when he was released is what I had access to. And that's what we've included in the appendix. And I can tell you, he asked for a vegetarian diet and was denied. So the Commonwealth representation that he never asked one and he never was denied is an outright lie. Just a lie, Judge. And they made that representation as an officer of the court, as she said. And I think I now have an obligation to point out that they're lying, okay? Number 2, as far as him not being able to get any diabetic treatment, he said, I'm feeling unwell. I need to get I used to get my blood checked 3 times a day. Now I'm only getting it twice a day. I need to check more because I'm not feeling well. They said, no, you don't need to check more. We're going to increase your medication. Then there's one entry, Judge, in which they say, when he's asking for more medication, he's asking for an evaluation. They say, no, you're fine because your A1C is 6.6. The A1C of 6.6 was in July. He was making this complaint in the middle of August, okay? And they hadn't rechecked his A1C in, I think, almost a month, Judge. But they want to sit here and make representations without, they claim, seeing the file, that my representations were wrong. Every single solitary thing I said is backed up by a document. Not a single solitary thing they said is backed up by a document. All we know for sure is they violated my client's rights by going to the jail and getting medical information without this court's order, without my client's permission, and in violation of HIPAA. So there are no, in this case, Judge, they've waived every single argument that they could possibly make in this case. They've violated my client's rights. There's no right for them to have a second bite at the apple. There's no precedent at all to have an evidentiary hearing at a bail hearing. And I think there's a case cited in my pleadings that say, it's just not a thing. The court doesn't have to ever, it's discretionary. To hold a bail hearing, it's discretionary to hold an evidentiary hearing. And I can tell you in the 35 years that I've been doing this, never had an evidentiary hearing at a bail hearing, ever in my whole life. And I don't think the Commonwealth is entitled to it either. In this case, Judge. So I'm suggesting that since the Commonwealth has waived this issue, since nothing that they said in their motion is actually true, since they violated my client's HIPAA rights and my client's rights to not have anyone have access to his file, then I would suggest, Judge, at this point, and the other thing, I don't know how the jail shows up with his file today. She just represented the jail showed up with his file based on whose order? Based on what? Like, where are they getting the authority to get my client's medical records? You didn't issue the order. They didn't go to any other Superior Court judge to issue that order. So where are they getting the order, Judge? But their conduct is reprehensible, and it shouldn't be rewarded by a second bite at the apple. They waived their right to this hearing. You made the right decision. All of the records that we could find substantiate that you made the right decision. And I'm asking you to deny the motion to reconsider.
Okay.
Will she have grave concerns?
Before I hear from you, Ms. Isaacs, Ms. Scapicchio, even if you're right that they waived their right, we've got everybody here. I'm going to hear. Your rights are preserved on that issue, and I'll look into it over the weekend. Okay. Mm-hmm. But I'll hear from the Commonwealth since they're here.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No, my objection, Judge.
Yes, your objection's noted.
I want to be very clear. This is not about winning and losing. This is a murder. Somebody died. And the Commonwealth is concerned that there is a public safety issue where the murderer is on the street as a result of representations made about his health. I want to be clear that Ms. Scapicchio cites or includes in her motion 9 selected pages out of what appears to be a 465-page medical record, showing that the defendant requested assistance.
How do you know it's 465 pages?
Because at the bottom of one of the pages it says out of 465. I have not seen these medical records. I have asked general counsel to come prepared to have them should the court allow the order to disclose, because the court, I believe, anticipated getting these records and did.
I'll give you an opportunity afterwards, Ms. Scapicchio.
Your
She's
Honor
standing up
stated
waiting.
on the record when you said that you were concerned about the diabetes, that you expected to see these records. These records obviously are at issue. Ms. Scapicchio points to requests made by her client, but the pleading is selective in that we can't see what the response was. The representation here is that Middlesex County Sheriff's Department is inequipped or inept to appropriately care for somebody who has diabetes. That is the information that is inaccurate. And so what I believe is highly relevant to the court in making its consideration is we have an objective representation by the Middlesex County Sheriff's Department that the facility is equipped to care for someone with diabetes. And I would suggest to the court that these records are going to show that there was also a subjective ability to care for this defendant. And so it is unfair at this point for representations to be made about medical care without having more information from the Sheriff's Department itself, and then to include in a pleading selective information from the defendant without having the full picture. I think what is most appropriate here is to have an opportunity for everybody to review those records subject to Your Honor's order, and then come back on a short date for an opportunity to have an evidentiary hearing on those records. The Commonwealth is incredibly concerned about the representations that were made. The Commonwealth has not done anything unethical here other than investigate claims that were made during a bail argument without sufficient notice. And by that I mean 3 hours before the hearing, a motion was filed. There was less than a paragraph about the diabetes issue. It's largely focused on the other issue, of which has been brought up at every single bail hearing. So yes, I was ready to argue that. And then we're getting new information, numbers, doses, and representations about vegetables, coats, lack of time outside, things that are being represented to Your Honor at the hearing on the fly. And so what is fair here, where the Commonwealth took a step back, spoke to the Sheriff's Department, learned more about its ability to care for diabetes, and now has information that is highly relevant to the court's determination, I think an evidentiary hearing is the most appropriate avenue here. It's a unique situation for which there is a unique remedy, which is actually having an opportunity to review the records that are being relied on by the defendant in his argument without anybody having seen them. And with regard to the waiver issue, I would suggest that waiver is irrelevant here. New information came to light after the hearing that caused the Commonwealth concern about the veracity of the representations made to the court, and I brought that to the court's attention. There is no waiver here. And again, I would suggest to the court that when Your Honor said, and I'd like to see those records, the reason why Your Honor would have asked for that is there's a presumption that those records are going to corroborate or not corroborate the representations made, which opens the door for reconsideration should that information be inaccurate. So I would suggest to the court, waiver has no bearing here where there is new information about the representations made to the court.
Does either side have a copy of the transcript of the hearing?
I have one.
Okay. Could I get a copy, Ms. Scapicchio?
You want it electronically or paper?
However you want to give it to me.
Okay, that's fine. So if I can just respond, were you done?
Are you done?
Yeah. Okay, great. So if I can just respond, Judge, with respect to what you said at the end of the hearing, you asked for documentation that my client was going to be properly treated outside of the facility by his own doctor. That's what you asked for documentation for, Judge. You didn't ask for documentation on anything else. And the Commonwealth assuming that I was saying I wanted documentation for you to see from the jail. There were 2 incidences that caused the jail to have to take my client out because they couldn't manage his diabetes. Those 2 incidents were outside hospitals. Those are the hospitals that I was looking to get information from, Judge. So they're interpreting this completely backwards, just so that's clear. And then in terms of the court hearing I'm not sure if the court's inclined to hear evidence today.
I'm not convinced we need an evidentiary hearing.
Okay. So the big concern I have, Judge, is how did they get the records here today? And I think at least the court can inquire as to what the sheriff, who ordered the sheriff's department to bring my client's medical records to the court without a court order. I need to know that.
You want to answer that?
Sure. I didn't order anyone to do anything. I asked counsel if he could be present today with records should the court be inclined to allow the order in an effort to expedite the proceedings.
But you can't do that without a court order. It's rock solid. You can't get someone's medical records without a court order. Now you're issuing court orders?
All right, so we're not going to talk to each other.
Sorry, Judge.
All right, that's okay. All right, I've heard from the Commonwealth. I appreciate that. Anything further, Ms. Scapicchio?
No, Judge.
Okay. All right, I'll take this under advisement. I'll get to it as quickly as I can.
Thank you, Your Honor.
She's not ruling from
Thank
the
you, Your Honor.
bench.
Did you need anything, Judge, in addition to the?
I just want the transcript. You can, if you've got an extra hard copy, I'll take it. Okay.
She doesn't do
Clerk
evidence
can copy it
hearings.
for you, Ms.
We know
Scapicchio,
that.
or you can send it to Dawn via
I
email.
think I might have a copy. Mom, could you just look in the file? I'm going to have my office manager put the file together. Find it for me. She could probably find it quicker than I can, Judge.
So for the record, this matter is continued to February 17th, 2026 at 2 p.m. in the fourth criminal session in Plymouth for a pretrial conference.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right,
Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well,
Madam Clerk, we'll take a 5-minute recess.
well, the world is watching, Judge Cannone. She
So
still likes to swing in her chair.
I don't have a copy.
I didn't see her twirling her glasses around, but she sure does still like swinging in her chair. Rosemary went ballistic when her ethics were questioned. I would go ballistic if my ethics were questioned as well. That is something that will make any attorney with ethics go ballistic. However, I happen to disagree on this particular case. And I do love Rosemary Scapicchio, and I find her to be an amazingly zealous advocate for her client. However, hi, Kelly Reed, head back, chair rocking, complete disinterest, almost 4 p.m. on a Friday. It's get at it. No, it's 2:42 p.m. We got to get to the Cape, right? Got to get to the Cape. She's got a Cape house. Does she have a relationship with this guy, Alex Greene's family? Because we just watched before this, if you're late, we watched the footage of him being put from the scene into the police car where he's saying, don't you know who my family? Don't you know who I am? Reddington didn't get to say a word. Client shows up in a suit. And there he is. He's a big man. Look at the size of that guy. He's a big man. And she did compliment him on his outfit. Fit check for the defendant, Alex Greene, with a knee at the end. A lot of people in the courtroom for him. Apparently he's somebody. He was supposed to start a job at the Barnstable Sheriff's Department as a deputy. A couple days after, he shot the decedent in the face. 5-minute recess for another case, but not for this case. So we're going to log out of this Zoom. This case is continued to February 27th. And aren't you glad that we watched? Aren't you glad that we watched this? Let me give you a little more background on this, on the story here. And I did pin in the, well, I still pinned it in the chat. It's still there. The original show that I did on this, which was, I think, just last week. The 5-minute recess is because there's another case coming on at 3. This case has been put over until February. This man, Alex Greene, who we just saw in court in his nice linen suit, which seemed to be not exactly a winter suit. I can't go back to the beginning because it was Zoom, so I can't rewind it. I'll tell you the story again of what had happened. Well, this is from, we watched the footage. And the footage we just watched was shortly after 1 a.m. This was on March 16th, 2025, not even a year ago. Shortly after 1 a.m., the parking lot of the Auld Triangle Irish pub in Hyannis, which is on North Street behind Puritan Clothing. Barnstable Police and Hyannis firefighters responded to the parking lot for a report of a gunshot with a man on the ground. Now, it's also important to point out, as Hyannis News reported, that the wife of Alex Greene is the one who called 911. The wife is the one who called 911. I wrote down February 17th. That's what I wrote down. Mazda, do you think he should be out on bail? First degree murder? When's the last time you saw a first degree murder out on bail? You say there's zero reason to reverse this bail decision. It was proper to begin with. The reasoning is because he has diabetes, he should be out on bail. And because he could afford to pay $100,000 cash. I totally disagree. This is a man who, and yes, innocent until proven guilty, but his wife is the one who called 911 and said, my husband shot someone. And they go back and they find the black decedent shot point blank in the face because maybe he said something to this guy's wife, who's a firearms instructor, by the way, the defendant, when he was urinating outside. And she said, you know, you really should be doing that inside because there's a bathroom inside. And he said, maybe. You want to see what I can do with this? There's conflicting reports about whether or not he exposed himself to her or not, but does that deserve him to be shot point blank in the face? He was 41 years old. This was an execution, my friends. This was an execution of a black man in Hyannis. I mean, I don't always pull out the race card, but in this situation, I think I might have to pull out the race card. There are plenty of people in jail or in custody who have medical conditions, okay? 41 years old and a father. They also heard testimony of his prior crimes, the decedent's prior crimes, as part of the bail argument. That's insane. His name is Tony Johnson. Here's his picture. And whether or not he had a record shouldn't matter when they're determining bail. Because this guy didn't know his record when he shot him point blank in the face. What are we doing, Massachusetts? What are we doing? Lindsay Clancy is being held. Why can't Lindsay Clancy get out then, too? Lindsay Clancy's got medical conditions. She's paralyzed from the neck down. She took the lives of her 3 children, allegedly, strangling them with exercise bands and then jumped out the second-story window of her Duxbury home. She didn't even want to live, but now she's in custody. She's paralyzed from the neck down, coincidentally also represented by Kevin Reddington. Nobody's given her bail. She's got medical conditions that could probably be better managed outside of the Tewksbury, which is where she is. So here's the man who was murdered. His name is Tony Johnson. Say his name. 41-year-old father. That is his son, coincidentally also named Tony Johnson. He was executed by this man. And they're saying that the first time his diabetes, the defendant's diabetes, Alex Greene diabetes, was ever diagnosed was the same night, the night that he executed Tony Johnson. And Judge Cannone's decision, she said, oh, well, the diabetes is a consideration for me because, you know, he probably can't get proper treatment for his diabetes in jail. They didn't come in with any medical evidence in the first hearing. No records. And then Judge Cannone had the cojones to say, oh, to the ADA, are you telling me that I should not rely on the word of counsel? Am I living in the Twilight Zone? Judge McCarthy Nyman did not rely on the word of counsel, Tim Bradel, when it came to Kelsey Fitzsimmons, who had been shot in the chest by a fellow police officer. And that, by the way, was in all the records. Kelsey Fitzsimmons was the one who was charged. She's in North Andover PD too. They come to take her baby away. She gets shot in the chest. And that judge said, you came in with no medical records. I'm sending her back to jail. There is no consistency in Massachusetts. There is zero consistency. That is part of the problem here. Am I being hyperbolic? Am I overreacting here? Everyone smash the like button, please, while we're here and talking about this. It is a passion for justice, but you need to treat all the defendants the same. If Judge Cannone is going to come in and say, are you telling me that I shouldn't rely on the word of counsel about his diabetes being out of control? And that I need medical records? I already made my decision. Too bad, too bad, so sad. No, Karen was not murder one. Karen was murder two. Karen was not murder one. Karen was murder two. Let's not spread misinfo. Karen was murder two. She was out on bail with 0 conditions. She didn't have an ankle monitor. This is murder one. Karen Reed's never should have been upgraded to murder at all. That was an overcharge from the beginning. And again, oh, you deleted it. Oh, I see. It doesn't come through on my end, Scott. And then they're arguing HIPAA. Same thing happened in Lindsay Clancy. Somehow, somebody called the jail and got Lindsay Clancy's medical records. Kevin Reddington, who was sitting there today, didn't say anything, didn't go as ballistic in that hearing. The only consistency is corruption. That's what Bederow says. And he went nuts because they're trying to figure out how to get Lindsay Clancy to the courthouse for her trial that is upcoming because she's paralyzed from the neck down and she's going to need a special ambulette and a special aid with her or something. He went berserk also about HIPAA. Katie says if he needed emergency treatment, then take him to the hospital in cuffs and then put him back in jail when he's finished. He shouldn't be on bail. Remember what happened to Brian Walsh? He got attacked. Got stabbed in the head. Something about a vegetable diet. He wasn't getting vegetables in jail. He wasn't getting vegetables in jail, so he should get out because of his newly diagnosed diabetes. Do you think, this is not the man, this is the man who was killed. Do you think that the defendant could be a danger to the community? If you go back to the prior screen, it will give you all of the details here. Do you think he could be a danger to the community? I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. What do you think? Kelsey Fitzsimmons, the only thing they could indict her on was assault. She claims she tried to take her own life and didn't point her weapon at Noonan. And she was thrown back in jail because she couldn't breathe into the scram device because she was shot in the chest by Noonan. Make it make sense, please. Please just make it make sense. He was able to post the $100,000 in cash bail the next day when Cannone gave him bail on the third try because she was the judge for the first time on the third try. He was able to post the $100,000, Alex Greene was. He's facing LWOP. And he does have a standard condition of having to wear an ankle monitoring bracelet. And it says, even the Boston Globe says, a rare release for a defendant in a first-degree murder case. And then the Boston Globe goes on to say, but race and socioeconomic status add other dimensions to the bail decision. Greene is a white, a firearms instructor at a popular local gun range who is set to begin working as a Barnstable County Sheriff's deputy that week. With the financial means to obtain a high-powered legal team and post high cash bail, Johnson was black, an ex-con who floated among jobs and most recently worked at Home Depot, UPS, and Dollar General. Well, at least he was out there working and he wasn't on the public dole. Maddie Johnson, 60 years old, the mother of Tony Johnson, said if it would have been my child who shot a white person in the face, he would have no bond. And she said the unusual decision to grant bail in a first-degree murder case makes it feel like her son's life and death don't matter. My baby was a human being, Johnson said. Don't let this go undone, and don't let this go unnoticed. The district attorney's office that is appearing here is the Cape and Islands District Attorney's Office. And that was the hearing that we just watched today. The judge has reserved her decision, as always. And, the DA wants an evidentiary hearing, but we know that Judge Cannone doesn't do that. She doesn't do that. Why would she do that? Some more information done by this amazing reporter. Hyannis News. Amazing. If anybody knows how to reach him, maybe he can come on and talk to us about this case. Where's that other article that I had? He had some more information because he got all the police reports. Oh, please. All right, where's this? Oops. Oh, please. If I start freezing again, just let me know because there's a freezing issue with StreamYard and has to do with the screen that I'm on and all of this other nonsense. Okay, here. This is the amazing reporting of Robert Bastille. Rob Bastille, shout out to him. And there he is, Tom Kokonowski, looking like a good-looking Drew Carey's brother / Mad Men. Here's what he says. According to a report filed by Patrolman Nolan O'Melia of the Barnstable Police Department on Sunday, March 16th, 2025, at around 1 a.m., he responded to a report of a gunshot in the North Street parking lot area behind Puritan Clothing in Hyannis. There's always more to the story. The question is whether this guy should be out on bond when we see so many other people who are not allowed on bond or bail. Where he was flagged down before observing a man on the pavement near a parked car. When asked what happened, a witness told Patrolman O'Melia that he saw a dark-colored pickup truck flee the area. Patrolman O'Melia went to help the man on the ground, who was later identified as Tony Johnson, 41 of Hyannis. Johnson was laying on his side with an apparent single gunshot wound to his left cheek. Patrolman O'Melia's report continues as follows. Quote, I rendered assistance from bystanders to illuminate the scene as I updated dispatch of the patient's condition, at which time Barnstable police officer Yalmokas arrived on scene. I instructed Officer Yalmokas to begin CPR as I grabbed the BVM and AED from my medical bag. Officer Hiltz of the BPD arrived on scene and began rescue breathing as I took over compressions from Officer Yalmokas. We applied the AED to Johnson and received no shock advised, at which time Officer Hiltz and I resumed CPR until Hyannis FD arrived on scene. Yeah, she never once did she ever compliment Karen Reed on her outfit, did she? Did she ever say, like, thank you so much for dressing nice for me today? I don't remember her ever saying that. It's a little patronizing, by the way. Meanwhile, Patrolman Peter Ginnity started toward a convenience store on Yarmouth Road after a dispatch received a phone call from Alex Greene's wife. She was riding inside their pickup truck next to Greene after having just left the shooting scene. Patrolman Ginnity's report continues as follows. Yeah, something funny, Ms. Reed. Quote, I arrived at 696 Yarmouth Road and observed a Massachusetts plate turning its headlights off. I pulled into the lot and activated my emergency blue lights. I observed the passenger door to the vehicle was open and the passenger side was empty. I observed a male seated in the driver's seat with his hands in the air and he was sobbing. At about this time, dispatch radioed that the wife of the driver had removed the firearm and placed it near the vehicle. Seeing the operator with his hands in the air, I moved to the wife who was directing me to the firearm. She was making statements as to what had happened, but I was focused on the firearm and any movements of the operator, so I wasn't listening to her. All of her statements were captured by my body-worn camera and will be submitted later as evidence. Yeah, all the inmates with diabetes are seeking bail right now. Carefully picking up the firearm by the barrel while wearing latex gloves, Patrolman Ginnity secured it so it couldn't be accessed by anyone else. As Patrolman Ginnity moved back to the driver's side of the vehicle, officers from the Yarmouth Police, Barnstable Sheriff's Department, and State Police arrived to assist. Patrolman Ginnity then asked Greene to step out of the vehicle, and he did so with his hands in the air. Greene complied with all orders and then was taken into custody without incident. Around this time at Cape Cod Hospital, Johnson was being treated by an emergency room doctor. After about 15 minutes, the doctor determined Johnson showed no vitals. At approximately 1:30 a.m., Johnson was pronounced deceased by the Cape Cod Hospital emergency room doctor at 1:38 a.m. The doctor then notified the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. State police detectives were also notified. Here's what he said. As Greene was then placed back at 696 Yarmouth Road, Greene was then placed back into a BPD cruiser to be transported to BPD headquarters. Why are they going to BPD? Oh, Barnstable. I'm thinking Boston PD. All right, Barnstable. A report filed by Patrolman Nelson Souve, S-O-U-V-E, of the BPD continues as follows. Quote, while en route to the BPD, Greene was yelling at the top of his lungs nonstop, "Why are you doing this? You know my family. My family." Can you say Nepo defendant, anyone? Can you say Nepo defendant? He kept yelling this over and over during transport, then suddenly went silent in the area of the Festival Plaza on Route 132. At this time, I activated the cruiser's emergency lights and made my way to the BPD and requested the East Sallyport door at 0140 hours. I want to see that Sallyport video. No, he took off after he shot him, and then the wife called the police. Once inside the Sallyport, I immediately checked on the well-being of Greene, who was slumped forward against the seatbelt. I laid him back against the seat and immediately requested help from Sergeant Jones and Officer Fulham. Sergeant Jones and I removed Greene from the rear of my cruiser and began life-saving measures at this time. Rescue was requested. Greene had a shallow pulse but was not breathing. Sergeant Jones administered 1 dose of Narcan and began rescue breaths. Officer Fulham began placing the AED pads on Greene, and I began chest compressions. After starting compressions, Greene came to and began breathing on his own at this time. Rescue then transported Greene to CCH for further treatment. Later Sunday morning at around 4:35 a.m., Detective Nicholas Atchison of the Barnstable PD and Trooper Christopher Taylor of the Massachusetts State Police Detective Unit, assigned to the Cape and Islands District Attorney's Office, conducted an interview of a woman identified as Tony Johnson's girlfriend. The state police report continues as follows. During the interview, Blank confirmed that her and Johnson had been in an intimate relationship since November of 2024 when he was released from federal custody. Oh, I see. He's an ex-con, right? So his life doesn't really matter so much because, you know, he was out of federal custody since November, 4 months prior. She further stated that they had been friends since she was 18 years old. When her attention was brought to Saturday, March 15th, 2025, Blank explained that she spoke with Tony on the phone and the two agreed to meet at the Auld Triangle. Blank recalled arriving at the Auld Triangle at approximately 0030 hours, stating that she arrived in time to have 1 drink before last call. Wow, last call is early over there in Massachusetts, huh? Tony and her decided that it was time to leave and she went to the bathroom. When she returned, she could not find Tony, but believed he went out the rear entry exit to retrieve his jacket from Blank's vehicle. She spoke with Blank, who stated that Tony had the keys to her vehicle. It was a Rivian. That's a very expensive vehicle, a Rivian. Blank stated that she waited inside the bar until approximately 01:06 hours. She stated she went outside to the rear parking lot and saw blue police lights and yellow crime scene tape, at which point Blank informed her that Tony was believed to be deceased from a gunshot wound. The interview concluded at 0448 hours. Earlier Sunday morning at around 3:30 a.m., Trooper Timothy Shield of the Massachusetts State Police Detective Unit, assigned to the Cape and Islands District Attorney's Office, and Detective Kyle Phelan of the Barnstable Police Department conducted an interview of the wife of Alex Greene. The state police report continues as follows. During this interview, Blank stated that she and her husband, Alex Greene, went out to Hyannis at around 1900 hours. Blank advised that Alex and her first went to DJ's Wings restaurant around 1900 hours. Blank and Alex then went to Embargo Restaurant, the 19th Hole Tavern, and the Auld Triangle. Blank advised that they spent about 1 hour at each establishment and nothing out of the ordinary happened at any of the restaurants. Well, I have a question for you. This is the Saturday night before St. Patrick's Day. It's what I also call amateur night, if this is what they were doing out there celebrating St. Patrick's Day, right? 7 p.m. they start drinking. Maybe he starts drinking at 7 p.m. And Tony Johnson was executed by him 5.5 hours later. Do you think it's a diabetes issue or do you think it's a drunk issue? I don't know. I'm just, listen, innocent till proven guilty, right? Blank went on to say that Alex and she left the Auld Triangle restaurant out the back door, which faces North Street in Hyannis. According to Blank, Alex went ahead of her to start his truck because she gets cold easily. As she was exiting the Auld Triangle, she observed a black male wearing a light-colored shirt, urinating near the rear entrance. She said to the black male something to the effect of, "Why are you peeing out here when there's a bathroom right inside?" The black male reportedly responded to her, saying what he would do to her with his penis. Blank continued walking to the truck and told the black male to F off. She continued walking to the truck and began to get into the front passenger seat of the truck. She heard a loud bang and she saw the same black man on the ground face up. She identified the black male to have Blank coming down his nose. Blank said that she did not witness what happened. When Blank got into the front passenger seat of the truck, Alex was sitting in the driver's seat and appeared to be calm. She went on to say that Alex began to drive away from the parking lot towards the 19th Hole Tavern. Alex placed a phone call to his former manager at Cape Gunworks. While Alex was on the phone with that manager called 911. Oh, no, the wife called 911 from her cell phone. Detective Sergeant Connolly played the recording of the 911 call, and she tells dispatch personnel that her husband, Alex Greene, just shot someone. She continued to say that she could not remember any conversation between Alex and her during the car ride from the Auld Triangle parking lot to where the truck was parked on Yarmouth Road. Trooper Shield asked the wife what made her say that her husband just shot someone if she did not witness anything. She went on to say that she came to that conclusion because she knew Alex was carrying a gun, there was a loud bang, and that there was no one else around the parking lot when she heard the loud bang. Gives a whole new meaning to bang bang. The firearm was identified. All right, then it says earlier in the state police report, preliminary information ascertained by investigators reads as follows. Tony Johnson was behind Puritan urinating next to a car located in the parking lot. While urinating, Johnson reportedly exposed himself to Greene's girlfriend, should possibly read wife, redacted, and stated, "Do you want some of this?" Greene subsequently shot Johnson in the head one time. The firearm was identified as a Glock 23 40 Smith & Wesson caliber with an aftermarket 9mm Luger barrel. There was one live 9mm round still in the firearm and 7 live 9mm rounds in the magazine. A second magazine seized as evidence had 10 live 9mm rounds in it. And that is the video that we watched earlier of the arraignment. Shout out to Hyannis News. You guys apparently know this guy, Robert Bastille. He's out there doing the Lord's work. What do you think? Mama Bug has been here for 6 months and she says, Mel, you should apply for the media credentials so you can stream Zoom without any issues. P.S. It's been way longer than 6 months. Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, I think I have no idea what's involved in the application process. I think you have to work for mainstream media. I don't know. And I think you have to apply, even if you have credentials, you have to apply for every single hearing to stream it. But yeah, you're probably right. I probably should. Thank you, Krista, for being here for 11 months, almost a year. Thanks for all you do. Thank you for watching. Al Maniski says, I wonder if he's subject to a scram monitor. No, I don't think he has. You're right. That's a great point. What was his BAC? It said he was just subject to an ankle monitor. GPS doesn't say if he has to test for alcohol. I don't know. That is a great point. Kelsey's incident had nothing to do with alcohol, and yet she was subjected to alcohol monitoring. This man was out drinking since 7 p.m. And maybe no alcohol monitoring. I'm still here since Aiden's just burnt the dinner. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean for you to burn your dinner. This is exciting stuff. Thank you, 44 MB for tuning in from Ireland. I love my Irish viewers. Script to Equip became a member. Welcome. Yes. Jim Morrison, Mrs. Jim Morrison says, the diabetes guy, Bev let him out of bail. This sounds like a Grey's Anatomy episode. It does. Doesn't it? Courtney says, Mel, do you believe the wife didn't see anything? I don't know. It depends. But she's the one who turned him in. She's the one who turned him in, right? She can't be forced to testify about their communications, but I don't think there's any bar to her testifying about what she observed. And she's a percipient witness here. Tammy says everyone with diabetes should be put out on bail. Tammy says, I think he's going to get off. It's who you know around here. Well, I guess he's allowed to stay out. She did compliment on him on his outfit. Autodoc, it's going to be interesting to see if they did a BAC on him in the hospital, because they obviously found out that he had diabetes, and that's the reason that Judge Cannone said he should be out on bail, because they can't manage diabetes inside jail. Doesn't Judge Cannone have a Cape House? Because I seem to remember some seaside cottage that somebody threatened Aidan Carney, that he was going to bury Aidan Carney under Auntie Bev's seaside cottage in the Cape. So instead of trying this case on the Cape, they transfer it to Plymouth Superior because of an alleged conflict, and give it to Judge Cannone. And Elaine says they did not do a BAC. How could they not? How could they not? Thank you, Elaine, for your super generous Venmo earlier. Oh, there's a Jimmy's blinker in the chat. That's hilarious. This is wild. It just keeps getting crazier. Sometimes we have to put Chaka up in the corner. So for those of you who know Land of the Lost from the 70s, that TV show, Chaka was on Land of the Lost. And because we are in the Land of the Lost so much, this is the vegetables defense, says Cupcakes of Justice. Yes. Thank you. Right, Zoe. Everybody pay attention. Diabetes wasn't diagnosed until after the shooting incident. Correct. After. That was his, I guess, in one sense, it's lucky that he was involved in executing a man in a parking lot, because he never would have known that he had diabetes unless they took him to the hospital and tested him. Somebody said that Judge Cannone's house is 5 minutes away from that bar, the Old Triangle. Is that accurate? Don't tell us where she lives. I don't want to know where she lives. Dakota Girl had said earlier, mic drop, but why wasn't she this loud ever before? You mean Rosemary Scapicchio? Because they questioned her ethics, and that will make any attorney scream out loud. Remember when that happened, how mad Bob Alessi got? When Brennan started, with the ethics. I don't know. You tell me. Do you think they were drinking Saturday night before? The wife listed off about 4 bars that they went to from 7 p.m. until the shooting. So my guess would be yes. I mean, the Goodmans are here. The Goodmans are here, and they gifted 5 memberships because they're awesome. They're amazing. Congratulations to the 5 who, the 5 who did receive the gifted memberships randomly by YouTube. One of whom is called Breenan's Deviated Septum. You guys are just the coolest with your usernames. You're very funny. You're very funny. Thank you to the generosity of the Goodmans. Kat Randall's here to tell us the full moon is February 1st. The new moon is February 17th and coincides with the beginning of the lunar fire horse start of the year. Thank you. Too Cute by Half says there's no way they didn't do a blood panel. Well, remember, that's how they got Karen Reed's blood alcohol content. They didn't do a blood alcohol test. They extrapolated. I think it was in a CBC. They had an ethanol result. They extrapolated it back to give her some wild, ridiculous BAC of between something like 0.13 and 0.29, right? It was insane. Kelly Reed is here and says it's illegal to drink and carry a loaded firearm in Massachusetts unless you're MSP and on the Cape. That's right. You're talking about, of course, Kevin Albert and Michael Proctor. Mm-hmm. Facts. Love you, Kelly. Pro Gamer says, outrage. Justice is consistent in Massachusetts if you are connected to the corrupt. Do you think the judge from Walsh acts this way with connected defendants? Diane Frenier. I don't think so. I like Diane Frenier. I thought she was very fair, and I like her a lot. I didn't agree with her decision on allowing the evidence in. I think they went outside the scope of the consent warrant. That's going to be an appellate issue that we're going to cover very closely. Yeah, and then, dude, where's my badge and gun? Cindy retired says. Cindy says, leave your badge in the cup holder. Badge and gun. Juliana sentencing from the Banfield case has been moved from the 20th of February to the 13th of February. They're moving it up. I thought she testified against him, so aren't they going to let him go? Aren't they going to let her go? Smith says, Chaka in the corner and your commentary with the chat is why I'm here. Listen, we have to laugh sometimes. Otherwise, we're just going to cry all the time because this is really sad. And we even, you know who else we have in the corner now, right now? We can't see him because of my cool Dave Matthews poster behind him, but that is Guzma. Okay, that is Guzma. Do you remember the Guzma coma score? We all laughed so hard because we all know, anybody who's ever watched one episode of Grey's Anatomy knows it's the Glasgow coma score, not the Guzma coma score. But we found out, and remember how he was like, Brennan was like arguing with Dr. LaPosada? No, I'm talking about the Guzma coma score. We found out, where you guys told me that Guzma is a Pokemon character. He's like the head of all the evil people or something. And that's Guzma in the corner. And Hank Brennan outed himself as a Pokemon fan. Sarah says low blood sugar could cause a diabetic to do something out of character and pee outside. Well, the guy who was peeing outside was the guy who was shot in the face. He's not the one with the diabetes. The one who shot him is the one with the diabetes. She's not yet been sentenced. Are they just going to let her go? Wasn't that the plea deal? Virtual juror is here. Oh, shout out to Next Witness. I don't know if Next Witness is here, but go sub up to Next Witness and watch all their compilation videos. Apparently, Next Witness lost all of their footage. Something happened. And then Next Witness did something truly amazing. Because if you don't play over on the cesspool of Twitter, I'm still going to call it that. You might not know of the horrors that have been going on over there and the trashing of me that's been going on over there. And I thank you to each and every one of you who has chosen to stick up for me over there. I really do, even though I don't look because I don't want to know. So don't send it to me. But Next Witness did such a sweet, amazing thing and put out a post that said this. I'm going to put it up for you because maybe you can help. Here it is. Let me share the screen with you. Next Witness says, calling, look. Calling all Melanie Little supporters. This was 4 days ago when I was in Cancun. Needing a bit of positivity while I rebuild my projects, I had a request to put together a montage of Melanie Little's passionate moments behind the Karen Reed trial. We have 3 years of coverage to sift through. Actually, I think it's only 2. And I'm only one person, so I'm calling on y'all to help me out. Send me clips or links with the timestamps of your favorite Melanie Little moments showing how much She supports and cares about what happened in the Karen Reed case. My email is nextwitness25@gmail.com. Thank you. With little hearties, like the little Taylor Swift heart hand emojis. Let's start off the rebuild with positivity. And I love that. I love that. So thank you to each and every one of you who's chosen to back me up, as Dave Matthews would say. Juliana did a plea deal for time served up to 10 years, and she will go back home upon release. Oh, so she gets to go back to Brazil? She gets a one-way ticket? Isn't that sweet, Emma? Thank you. And the virtual tour says, send next witness your favorite Melanie reactions. I think one of the funniest things, if I was to pick what one of the funniest thing was when Bederow and I did a stream. It was during Verdict Watch, and we were, or was it during Rescue Randy? And we did the whole like Monty Python thing. People tell me that they watch it for fun whenever they need a laugh, that they go back and watch that Bederow stream with the, 'tis only a flesh wound, when we were talking about Rescue Randy. Remember that one? If you totally missed it, I should play it for you now because it's so funny. The Randy stream, the Rescue Randy stream, right? I just need to know which stream it was. I need a timestamp. And I think actually, wait, I think I did save it somewhere just for when we needed a laugh. And I feel like we need a laugh right now. So hold on, let's see if I can find it. It's hilarious, right? It's sometimes we need it. We need a laugh. So if you didn't get to watch it live, let's watch it. I'm trying to think of how Monty Python, maybe I put under. No, Rescue Randy. I'll find it one of these days. Yeah, so tell me, Jane. Jane, do you know where it is? Do you know where it is, Jane? Is it in your history? It was really funny. We were on fire that day, and I'll allow it says I was crying, laughing, and couldn't breathe. I know, I need a funny folder. Cindy says, Melanie and the cupcakes always make long work days so much brighter. Couldn't do without you. Oh, you're a sweetheart. Oh, the imitation of it has to stop. It has to stop. Michael Marcy, how about this? The man passed out in the snow. Thank you, Cindy, for your 20. Melanie, the cupcakes always make long work days so much brighter. I couldn't do it without you. Thank you. All right, so Rescue Annie was heartbroken. Yeah, remember? All right, it was definitely during trial number 2. So it's in the trial number 2 playlist. Remember, I counted up all the hours and videos I did on the Karen Reed coverage, and it was 725 hours of coverage and 227 videos. 227. You can't make it up. You just can't. Trial 2, pre-trial, post-verdict. There's way too many playlists here. Trial 2 playlist, let's see. During Rescue Randy, it was, right? And whose testimony was that during? The cross of Crash Daddy. Yeah. And it was Crash Daddy Wolf, right? Oh, and here it is because Bederow's on the thumbnail. I found it. Oh, I found it. It's right at the spot. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? Do you guys need a laugh? We need a laugh. We need a laugh. Hold on. This is Mark Bederow and I. This is day 28 of the Karen Reed retrial. I think you're going to enjoy this. If you haven't seen it yet, I think I could not stop laughing. Here we go. I'm going to go off camera for a moment because it's so weird to see me sitting next to me. But here we go.
Even at this speed, go ahead. Stop. You can see pieces, large, small, medium, maybe even microscopic, are now breaking off from that taillight and being littered into the air, aren't they?
Yes, there are pieces coming off.
Say what?
If it's microscopic, you can't see it, right? Isn't that the whole point? Needing a microscope, but whatever.
He wants to get back to the microscopic pieces in the clothing, but there's no damage to the clothing, so.
Another problem.
If we can go to test C, please. Use only an arm. Now, in test C, you actually use only an arm. Isn't that fair to say?
Correct.
You don't use a body or a crash test dummy.
No.
You don't, in fact, this is not the 12-pound arm either. This is the 9.38-pound arm.
Correct.
And when you do this test, you have the arm, it's basically just an object suspended
See how Mark gets so freaked out when he's on the screen alone? Hold on.
in the air, isn't it? I think you said that this is the same as if it was on the dummy. Is that your testimony?
Well, in terms of, again, the amount of weight that would be interacting with the tail, same.
Different than if it was attached to a person. The fact that it's just floating up in the sky like that, it's very different than if it was attached to a person or a dummy, isn't it?
In terms of how it moves immediately after the impact, yes.
Not just how it moves, as far as the impact. Isn't it different?
I don't know that I agree with that.
Okay. Well, wouldn't you say that in addition to the arm, if you had another 200 plus pounds being held down by gravity, that would affect the force that's acting on the arm?
Well, the arm, again, is going to be accelerated, but the center of mass of the body is not going to see that acceleration.
Oh, there's Crash Daddy Wolf.
You testified before in this case about the importance of the full body and gravity.
I'm sorry, what was your question?
Have you testified before in this case about the effect of gravity and the full force of a body as opposed to just an arm?
10,000 Maniacs.
Yes.
Okay.
About the weather.
And do you remember whether you thought it important on a previous time you testified that there is significance to the arm would be attached to a 200 plus pound body and there was the issue of gravity that would affect force?
From what I recall, I think that had to deal with whether or not the pedestrian would be projected based upon an interaction with the arm or a full-on center of gravity hit, right? When we're only hitting the arm, we're not.
Miles per hour, test C. It might be a delay. Okay. How many times do you think that arm spun around?
I don't know.
That's not what would happen to a person who got hit. Their arm wouldn't spin through their body like that, would it?
Correct. It
Their
would
arm
not.
wouldn't spin that many times.
No.
There'd be the pull of their body weight. Yeah.
Would affect.
The reason
Bederow has to come back because
that
it's
is-
our banter. That was funny.
Yes.
No, I don't agree with that. The primary reason there's a difference in the damage is because of the amount of the arm that's outstretched and interacting with the taillights. There's a difference in those two tests.
Mm-hmm. And so the body and the weight of the body, you're saying, has nothing to do with the amount of damage.
Not in these tests, no.
So when somebody gets hit, does the body weight have anything to do with the damage? Not just the area that gets hit. Does the body weight affect it at all?
Not in terms of the impact, like the rest of the body, it's not going to matter if, for instance, only my hand, like in that last test we just saw, it was the hand and the wrist, how much my stomach weighs, my head weighs, is not going to affect the damage to that taillight and that interaction.
And by the way, this test, you said 15 miles per hour. If you consider the 26%, you're only at 11.1 miles per hour. Is that the right math?
Again, I don't agree with that because if you look at the data and you integrate the acceleration data to get the speed, right, that we saw in those plots, the hand basically gets up to, I think it was 14 or 15 miles an hour. It reaches that common velocity of the vehicle.
Let's go to test F. On test F, you placed
He's trying not to laugh.
dummy more behind the vehicle, didn't you?
Correct.
And when you tested, you put it more behind the vehicle. This is more of a full impact than it is a clipping, isn't it?
Certainly, yes.
And when you put this dummy behind the car, This was not a legitimate crash test dummy. It was a different type of dummy, wasn't it?
Yes, it's called a Rescue Randy.
A Rescue Randy. And that is not typically the type of dummy that you're going to use for crash tests, is it?
I wouldn't agree with that.
When you did the Rescue Randy and crash test F, did you use the 12-pound arm or did you stick with the 9.38?
The hybrid arm wasn't attached to the Rescue Randy. And
The hybrid arm was not. Is that what you said, or it was?
it was not. No, not in the full impact test.
Okay, so what was the weight of the arm on the Rescue Randy?
I don't know specifically the weight of the arm. I know that the total mass of the Rescue Randy was 200 pounds.
Isn't the weight of the arm important when you're talking about impact with the arm?
I don't think relative to the rest of the mass of the body.
So now the mass of the body counts, but before it didn't.
Sustained enough.
Okay. If we can see in test F, we have some photographs. Start with the first one. Is this simply a photo or a video? Could we go to the next one, please? So the Rescue Randy's placed much further in the car than the other type of test that would be more similar to a clip, yes?
Correct.
Next photo, please. Okay. And that is the result of the impact?
Correct.
Do you see the debris field?
Yes.
Is it near Rescue Randy?
Some of it is, yes.
Yeah, it's spread out a little bit, yes?
Do you see that Rescue Randy's leg has been completely twisted out? It was like hanging off by a thread.
He also went straight backwards. Like he just got launched backwards, not into the yard. But yeah, that
Compound fracture. I mean, his bone is practically sticking out, his fake bone. I mean, come on, man.
You know what Rescue Randy looks like? If you watch Family Guy, every time somebody gets hurt, they end up looking like that with their leg side.
Right. Poor Rescue Randy, he needs some meds.
That's fair, yes.
But it's not right on his body. It's a distance from his body, yes?
Break that.
There may be some, I can't tell from this photo, there may be some around his body, but
Right. So he would, according to this, he'd be in the street. His body would never have made it to the lawn. It would have been on the street. Debris field.
yes, there's also debris close to the Lexus as well.
Arms all
And,
broken.
and this is the demonstration where you didn't turn on the videotape, so we don't have a videotape.
Correct. We had the false start. Yep.
What's that?
We had the false start.
The false start. Is there another picture after this?
He thinks he's got him. The false start.
Those clothes. Are there holes or tears in the clothes?
Yes, there's damage that's consistent with road rash when clothing or a body makes contact with the pavement and is grinding into the pavement.
Pavement's hard.
Yes.
How about frozen ground?
Hard as the
Frozen
ground.
dirt.
Is that hard?
Yeah.
I suppose it can be.
Well, do you have any doubt whether frozen ground in the
Science is
Northeast
hard.
in the winter is hard? Hard as a rock?
I haven't done any analysis to assess that.
And so seeing holes in those clothes is what you would expect after Randy hits that hard ground, right?
We're really going to call him Randy, aren't we? We're just,
Look at all the dirt. There was no dirt around those bite marks on the sweatshirt. Can we just point that out?
look at the size of the holes and the I mean,
This is if John O'Keefe was dragged along, God forbid, the roadway with, more than with no snow on it, because there's no snow here and not enough snow to track a cat even.
Are you talking about frozen grass or paved?
I'm talking about Randy right now. These holes in the clothes are what you would expect after Randy hits the hard ground, correct?
I'm going to allow that. Is that what you'd expect?
Sure.
All right, jurors, feel free to stand up and stretch.
Please, seventh inning stretch. We need a shirt. I'm talking about Randy right now.
I'm talking about Randy.
By the way, isn't he like palm up? So that's the inside of his sweatshirt. not the outside?
Randy may be this trial's, White Claw. And the first trial was kind of White Claw. Randy may be the buzzword.
So holes in the clothes is what you would expect after Randy hits the ground, yes?
if there is prolonged sliding contact with the asphalt, certainly you could expect to see tearing, large holes, material fraying, and even transfer of pavement material onto the clothing.
You've done no studies on hard ground, like a front yard, have you?
In terms of a pedestrian sliding on the grass?
In clothing tears, yes.
No, sir.
Try not to
And if you could go back one slide.
He's trying so hard. Keep
You
it
see
together,
the debris
Dan.
field is near but not on, Randy? Can you tell if there's any small pieces or microscopic pieces?
He just got done.
Can you tell us
Hearing
whether?
in a Monty Python movie.
Can you
It's
tell us?
only a flesh wound. I'm still here. I'm still here.
Could you tell us whether Randy was married or what his educational background?
Randy is mangled. Can we just say for what it is? Randy is actually mangled. You can't even make this up.
It really is like Monty Python. Pite?
Waiting for the knight to come out with a shrubbery and a sword.
But you've got no arms and no legs.
Yeah, 'tis only a flesh wound. Randy, you can't hit me. Oh, okay. Say his name.
On or in Randy's clothes in the study, did you look?
No.
It's still so funny, right? It is still so funny.
Thank you.
If I could go to test E, please.
Somebody wrote in the chat. Even Randy is free Karen Reed.
Test E, you cite as having
Do we have Randy's
a
CV?
speed of 24 miles per hour, correct?
Can we get
And that's with a arm that is not.
Deb to make a Randy song? A Randy. Need a Randy song.
We do need a Randy song.
9.38 pounds. Yes?
Correct.
And to remind you, Mr. O'Keefe's arm would be about 11.86 pounds. Yes?
Randy still has his
Correct.
shoes on.
If you would reduce 26%, you'd be at 17.8 miles per hour, wouldn't you?
Are you doing the math, Dr. Wolf?
I don't agree with his characterization, Your
Okay,
Honor.
next question.
I understand you don't agree, but if you took 26% off the 24 miles per hour, you would come out to 17.8 miles per
I
hour.
agree.
I'm gonna allow that.
Was Randy with Bella's mom? Randy called in sick the next day. Somebody get Randy a wheelchair. The comments, you guys are amazing, amazing.
I'm going to allow that.
Oh wait,
That's what the calculation would yield.
Okay.
oh, I got to hear that again.
I don't agree, but if you took 26% off the 24 miles per hour, you would come out to 17.8 miles per hour, wouldn't you?
I'm going to allow that. I'm going to allow that.
That's what the calculation would yield.
Okay. On test E, there are some differences between your test and what would happen in real life. For example, there is a harness, correct?
Correct.
And the harness prevents the dummy from being thrown naturally.
Correct.
I mean, naturally.
The harness affects your ability or one's ability to see the study and see what the trajectory would be after impact, correct?
Well, that wasn't the purpose of the study, to assess the trajectory, sir.
Very hilarious, because the comment on the screen is Randy wishes he was in Cancun with Alan Jackson. That is so funny. We made March. That's how far back the lore goes. Hilarious.
I understand. I'm not trying to criticize, but it affects the ability to see the trajectory when the dummy's on a harness, doesn't it?
Yes.
Talking about Randy now.
Could we put up the first video on this, please? A photo 115, if we can start with.
And the next comment by Miss Jessica was, good thing Dr. Rensler specializes in wheelchairs. I'm going to link this whole video for you below in case you need a laugh, and you can always go back and watch it. And Zoe said, Melanie, was Randy on the beach with Dave Matthews Band this year? No, but wouldn't that have been great? Randy has fallen and he can't get up. I mean, the jokes about Randy are endless, but just the fact that he goes, we're talking about Randy right now. This is day 28 from Karen Reed retrial. And boy, was it funny. We had some good times together, didn't we? Didn't we have some good times together? Good times. Never going to end. I'm going to link it right at the bottom of this show description. Full Rescue Randy show. Go back whenever you need a laugh. Timestamp is right around, I forget when this started, but this is, I can't see, some around 6 hours, around 6 hours and 20 minutes, somewhere around there. Enjoy. Just Randy's right. Oh my God, we need to laugh or we're just going to cry. Randy ain't no dummy. I'm talking about Randy now. Kelly said it's Kelly already thanked you for this one. Yep. Thank you very much for your 10. I Stand With Mel says I sent Next Witness a bunch of timestamps, told her a great one to end the montage with is on verdict day and the sweet comments Bederow had for you. Oh my God, the verdict day. Oh my God. Do you guys want to watch the verdict with us and how we cried? I might cry if I watch that right now. Stand With Mel says one that should be in the funny moments is when you read the denial for dismissal in trial 2 saying, oh, that's rich. That's rich. My favorite moment I can consider funny now. Thanks for your 10. 302 girl says a New Jersey Paul Canero who's on trial now has diabetes and he's been in jail since 2018, no bail. You know, that's Jersey, right? I guess we're a bunch of softies in Massachusetts. You want to watch the verdict? Okay, let's do it. Elizabeth Gray says, hi, Mel. I'm a licensed dietitian. Diabetes takes years to develop unless type 1. Many are pre-diabetic for years without knowing his blood sugars have probably been uncontrolled for a while. Not buying the story. Peterson can get his prior medical records, right? Because they're saying that was the first time he was ever diagnosed was that night. Going back to Alex Greene. Thank you for your 10. EC40 became a new member. I think you're going to like it here. And Kat Randall gifted a membership. You know why? Because you are amazing. Let's see if we can get to the verdict and just watch it together. It's going to make me cry. I know it always does. I can't watch this without crying, but if you were never here for the verdict, Mark Bederow and I were here together. Guilty? Oh, why is that on a weird slow speed? Hold on a second.
Is not guilty or guilty.
Okay, hold on. Hold, please. Gonna play it for you. Ted, remember Ted Daniel up. There was a verdict, and then there wasn't a verdict, and then there was a verdict. So we'll put it on for posterity because let's just remember why we're all here and why we all came together. And the friends that I've made through covering this trial will be unlike anything ever in my life again. This is a unicorn. We will never, ever, in my opinion, be part of something like this ever again. I don't think there will ever be anything like it. And here's Mark Bederow and I on verdict day. They have let in John DePetro, who is not on the media list. There's plenty of room as we are all standing. You know, I mean, 8 minutes ago, Mark Randazza posted a video on Twitter. If you guys have Twitter, you can look at it. Seems like we might have a second or two here, but not too much time. It's a 20-second video. Okay, here we go.
To request that the
It's going to kill my ears. I don't know what that was. Jess Machado 10 minutes ago.
See, I don't know why it takes 20 minutes if they're all there. Everybody's
got hired overhead. We 3 deep is it's going to be impossible to control.
It's not deep in thought. It's trying to just
not throw up.
I mean, I can fully imagine what he's going through, and it is. I mean, other than Karen Reed, obviously, no one has more. I just in terms of stress and everything than I would think than him, given, you know, he's led the team. He came in after a few months, you know, a lot has happened since then. He's taken a lot of, in my view, unfair shots from the court, from the on people, as they all have, obviously.
Talking about Alan Jackson, look at the verdict clock was at 20 hours, 33 minutes, and 40 seconds. And we had already been duped once thinking that there was a verdict and then there wasn't a verdict.
But, you know, that's a lawyer who's tried a lot of big cases, none bigger than this. And
Thanks, Todd.
I mean, you're just trying to stay calm. That's, I don't think it's much thinking. I mean, it's just decompress, trying to gather yourself because it is intense.
Aiden also says court officers are not letting Jess Machado or Ted Daniel up. They have let in John DePetro, who is not on the media list. There's plenty of room as we are all standing. Didn't Jess Machado give Aiden her seat for the verdict? You know, right? I mean, 8 minutes ago, Mark Randazza posted a video on Twitter. If you guys have Twitter, you can look at it. Seems in support of her, like it was. But I have it like a
half years.
This is Mark Randazza's video from what happened outside a few minutes ago. Are you kidding me? I got to restart my browser. Oh, of course. StreamYard was crashing because everyone in the world was watching. So here was the team walking in. Me, StreamYard. Let me refresh
This would be something.
my ears. It should be good. I bet your verdict is in. They've changed their Chiron, and we wait.
That there is. So on this,
I don't think there's a flood of them.
Something. It's very, this is so, I mean, this is certainly for something.
We all got our
emotional.
tissues.
It's very, this is about
She
as
gave up her
tense
seat
as
for
it
him,
will
right?
get, but I mean, you have to trust the evidence, trust the lawyers. They tried a very nice case. And I think they made a compelling presentation, and the jury took time, obviously, thinking about it. Yeah, I don't envision a scenario where they're going to convict her, certainly of any conduct that would have led them to conclude beyond a reasonable doubt that she struck John O'Keefe with her vehicle, causing his death. I don't see it.
Very nice case. Okay, here we go.
You're unmuted.
I'm going to go off so that you guys can just watch us watch it. You guys hear it?
Yep.
I got to remember to breathe. I always forget to breathe.
Definitely breathe.
Will the deliberating jurors remain standing? Defendant remains standing. All other parties may be seated.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that 12 deliberating jurors and 6 alternates are present.
Yes.
May I inquire?
Yes.
Mr. Foreman, members of the jury, have you agreed upon a verdict? Yeah. Thank you. May I see the papers? Mr. Foreman, have the verdicts been placed in this envelope and have they been in your presence ever since? Yes.
Some fancy split screen.
Mr. Foreman, on docket number 2282CR117001, murder in the second degree, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar guilty or not guilty? Not guilty. So say you, Mr. Foreman? So say you? No. Do you agree? Yes. Do all of you agree? Yes. Thank you. 002, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar not guilty or guilty? Not guilty. Is not guilty or guilty about that charge or any lesser included charge? Thank you.
Full acquittal.
Specifically number 5, operating under the influence of liquor by operating a motor vehicle, the blood alcohol level of 0.08 or greater. Correct? Yes. So say you, Mr. Foreman? Guilty. So say you all?
Guilty?
003, what say you? Is the defendant at the bar leaving the scene after accident resulting in death? Is the defendant not guilty or guilty? So say you, Mr. Foreman?
Crowd goes wild.
Jurors, hearken your verdict as the court records that you upon your oath say the defendant on 001 is not guilty, on 002 is guilty of operating under the influence of liquor, and 003 not guilty. Thank you.
All right, jurors, everybody please be seated. Jurors, we thank you for your service. We're going to send you back to services complete. I'd like to come back and talk to you a little bit after.
Boy, it's loud out there.
No, it is.
All rise.
I'm not crying. You're not crying. I'm not crying. You're crying. Look at David and Eddie wiping away the tears. I mean, this is just so emotional. This is why we were here. Look at David's crying too. Wow. I can't.
Media, please exit the courtroom immediately. Karen Reed. Not yet.
Tony,
Hold
not
on,
yet.
hold on, everyone. Karen Reed. Ms. Reed, can I have your attention? As required by statute, I must inform you that the records regarding the charges that you have been found not guilty will be sealed by the Commissioner of Probation by the court unless you notify the Commissioner of Probation in writing within 10 days that you do not want these records sealed. To request that these records not be sealed, you may use the Request Not to Seal form, which is posted on the trial court's website on mass.gov. I cannot accept the form here in court. You must submit it to the Commissioner of Probation at the address provided on the form. Please be aware that if the records regarding the charges which you have been found not guilty are sealed, you will be unable to access the sealed record of the not guilty dispositions or any other records regarding those charges. If you want copies of any documents regarding those charges before the records are sealed, you should request copies from the court within 10 days. Do you understand? Thank you.
All right, so we need a date for sentencing. Can we do it next week?
Gosh, she wants it over.
Okay.
They want to do it today?
Okay.
That means get her out. That's
If you're just joining. Not
just wants
guilty
it
on
all-
murder 2. Not guilty of murder 2. The only thing she's guilty of is the OUI charge, the 5th lesser included on the manslaughter. And she is, and look at the reads in tears. I can't control myself. And not guilty of leaving the scene. The judge wanted to set a sentencing for the OUI for next week. And Hank Brennan wants to do it today.
which is the best thing he's done in this whole case. Just get it over with.
All right, so Ms. Gianetti, you ready to go forward today as well?
Wow.
Risk.
Okay, Mr. Brennan, what's the Commonwealth's recommendation?
Your Honor, the Commonwealth moves for sentencing. We recommend probation 1 year, 24
She's not going to jail.
So the standard that everybody else gets on a first-time OUI?
Certainly.
Okay.
We ask that you be treated no differently, no better.
So I'm happy to do it. All right, thank you all.
That's it. This is
1 year probation, 1 year probation on docket number 002, the lesser included offense of operating under the influence, 1 year probation. Thank you. The 24D program is. Thank you.
Can I say one thing?
Goodbye. I'm not ready. I'm not ready yet. Hold on. I'm not ready. Okay, now you can. Good.
A lot of people wondered how Brennan was going to behave when this was over, and he behaved like a gentleman.
Yeah,
There
you're
was
right.
no reason to delay this, get it out of here, get her sentenced, end this. We're not asking for jail. We're treating her like a first offender, OUI. We're done here. And that it's a shame that it took to this at the very end for him to act like that, but he did.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Oh,
This is the fun part, that when you see
Yeah.
something like this,
I
it'll
know.
be, and the comments from her family and the lawyers will be something else. I mean, this is obviously 1,000% win for the defense. This is no ambiguity. This is a complete and utter win for them, and a complete and utter failure for Michael Morrissey, who goes down in history for trying the most expensive OUI case and waste of taxpayer money misdemeanor case probably in American history.
yeah, I do think that Karen Reed is dressed in Veronica Beard today. Just like break it up. Nice powder blue blazer and slacks. She looks amazing. She's only getting a year. She's getting a 1 year probation with a 24D program, whatever the hell that is. I'm so sorry that you are not part of the team and you're not there with them celebrating. But in my own selfishness, I'm really glad that you're here with me because I can't speak and I need you to speak for me.
I'm happy to be here with you. Don't take this the wrong way. I really do wish I was there.
I know.
But
I know.
that's the right, and it's outstanding what happened, and hopefully the TV will take us to outside, because I really want to hear from Karen. Obviously, Alan and David And if they're willing, who I really, really, really want to hear from are Bill and Janet Reed.
Let's see if Boston 25 or Boston 10 is doing it. Oh, here they come. Do you want to keep watching? Should I let it play some more?
Come on, camera crew, take us to the courthouse steps. I'm sure they're taking a few private moments inside before they face the media scrum. I mean, this is, for them emotionally, you can't imagine.
All right, I'm going to let it play a little bit more. Maybe some of you didn't see this.
Look at that crowd. Remember a couple of weeks ago, you'd see Twitter trolls saying, why is nobody there? Where's all the support? That's the most support you're ever going to see for somebody charged with.
I can't hear you, but I'm flipping between 3 channels. If you did not see, if you were not there that day or you did not see the crowds, come to your screen if you can, and just look at the sea of people, the barricades. Remember the buffer zone and all that bullshit? I don't think we'll ever see anything like this again for a criminal defendant, ever. John O'Keefe was not hit by a car. A car did not hit John O'Keefe. And John O'Keefe died 4 years ago to the day yesterday. And there's still no justice for John O'Keefe because there's been no arrests in his murder and or the cover-up of his death. Here we go. I'm going to let it keep playing. Karen Reed is freed. Boston 25 seems to have the best camera right now and the best positioning. Law and Crime is kind of blurry and they don't have a great position. And Vinny is up, but it's like a split screen and there's nothing really great, but it will break to it if the attorneys start talking.
I don't know if you could have heard me earlier. I was saying how the amount of people that are out there for an acquitted murder defendant is more than I've ever seen in anything. And as recently as a week ago, you had Twitter trolls, if you recall, saying, where did everybody go? Where did everybody go? Where's all this support?
Right.
And the answer is, it's right there. It is. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Yeah. Redemption song. That's going on the playlist today. Redemption song for sure. I feel like I want to let Boston 5 do this because they're doing a fine job here. Although I don't know why their sound just cut out.
These are people who are supporting a woman who is accused of murdering a good man and police officer, and you never see this kind of support for someone in that position. You just don't see it, and it's, look at this. This is unbelievable to see. And it just tells you how strongly people thought that this was a wrong prosecution, that it was a scandalous prosecution, a corrupt prosecution. And she won. She fought the system and won. And it took 3.5 years. It took what felt like 27 lawyers and 1 million experts and 1 million this. Lots of donations from people at all levels of income. Lots of support, lots of, boots on the ground, as they call it, other things. And this is amazing to watch.
Yeah. How's that watch party at the VFW call going now? How's that watch party going now? We did it. Karen Reed is freed, posted microdots.
And she should be. And,
TV feed.
A lot of us, yourself included, myself included, thought she never should have been charged. This was a miscarriage of justice. At the same time, it goes without saying You know, whatever you think of John O'Keefe's people who supported him, some of those people are his family. And, you know, this is probably extraordinarily tough for them. And, you know, they deserve thoughts as well. Just,
of course,
sad because they're never going to get justice for what happened to their loved one. But you can't create justice by just persecuting an innocent woman to make everyone feel better. And I hope at some point they realize that and get justice and frankly ask the more difficult questions and whether they were fed things that perhaps they shouldn't have been fed by people with their own interest in the outcome. But
Right.
I certainly do wish his family, this is going to be extraordinarily tough for them to see.
It's always been about justice for John O'Keefe, but sending Karen Reed to prison for murder for a car accident that didn't happen is not justice for John O'Keefe.
No.
People are saying Law and Crime has the best feed. This is Law and Crime. I disagree. This is Boston 25, and I imagine they're going to pivot to the courthouse steps as soon as they can. And this is Court TV with the split screen. They're taking some time inside, so we're not going to see the attorneys for a minute. I can't play Fox because they strike, even if it's fair use. So I'm not doing that. But I think the FBI is still watching. I think they're still waiting. And I think maybe, just maybe, one of these days, something's got to give, right?
I don't know, but I you know, look, there's always winners and losers in this. And
Oh, there's
certainly
Kelly. There's Kelly.
There's Kelly.
Isn't that Kelly?
That's Kelly.
Blue blazer? Yeah.
Absolutely Kelly Reed.
We see you, Kelly. You look beautiful.
Smile and wave if you're listening in the earphones now. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why we can't get volume on Boston 25. I find this one to be a little bit blurry. Let's check Boston 10. I want to hear what she says and what they all say when they come out. Associated Press will strike me. I can't play it.
Today is probably the end of Michael Morris's career as well. And, you know, most would say that the good exactly.
I need someone to start saying top pennies. Won't back down. That's what I need.
This is going to be like one of those things in your life. They're going to be like, do you remember where you were during the Karen Reed verdict? And everyone's going to remember where they were during the Karen Reed verdict. Thank you, Jonas, for your Venmo. Says that he thought the judge in Aiden's case seemed biased already. Maria, thank you so much. Says, just because I love what you do. Thank you. I love you for watching. Sarah, who says about Alex Greene, wow, Rosemary's on fire. Sounds like he's type 1 diabetic. 400 to 600 is just wrong. They're not taking care of him in jail. Thank you very much, Sarah, for your Venmo. Gigi, thank you so much for the 100 in Cash App and 5 matcha lattes, because Gigi is amazing. I love you, Gigi. Do you guys want to keep watching, or do you want to go watch it on your own? See if there's any more. I think we were all just waiting for them to come out of the courthouse, and what a day it was. That's why we're all here, and that's what we're doing here, and we're not done. You want to keep watching? All right, we'll keep watching. I'll go off. I know.
I saw him the third last show.
Tick, tick, boom. You hear it?
Patty Love Morris's house tonight. Let's go.
I'm gonna have to go back inside. I'm not even thinking about it like this.
Boston 25 has good camera, but no audio.
See,
Vinny's trying to talk to some people in the crowd.
They have to fill the time somehow until they come out, right? That's what they're waiting for the big exit. And yeah, they've got one camera for you. Is that them or no, not yet?
There's Boston 10. Can you hear them chanting Morrissey resign? Morrissey resign. Wow, look at the overhead shot. All the people. Charges
certain utterly vindicated. I mean, you find who cares for this.
We have a special guest joining us right now, and here she is. She's our girl, Kelly Reed.
We did it. We did it.
Are you crying? I'm not crying. You're crying. You're crying.
Thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart for everything. We could not have done it without you. And look at all these people.
Wow. Wow.
And I got to hug Aiden and wow, we did it.
We did it.
Finally over.
You did it. We did it. We all did. It took an army, Cal. It took an army, not just a village.
And we
like
could
it
not
took
have done it without you
full-on
guys,
army.
honestly. I got my love glasses on. I think I've been interviewed on like 10 stations and newspapers. I have no idea who any of them were. I'm shaking from the inside out. I cannot wait to hug my family. It's wild down here.
I know they're showing like overhead shots. I have Law and Crime on, and they're doing like drone shots, and you can see like the gold dome of the courthouse, and you can see like how many. I don't know what's the estimate on how many people are there. Thousands. It looks like.
I don't know, but drown it out in pink.
Yeah, it is pink. It's all pink. We lost Kelly. We lost Kelly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It looks like we lost her.
Service stinks there.
Okay.
Oh, here she is. You're back. We lost you. Oh,
Am I? Can you see me?
We can see you.
now we can.
Okay. I'll walk a little bit through the crowd, and you can say hi.
Okay.
Want to say hi to Jess and
I'm
Shoutout?
ugly crying. Jess, I'm really upset that you didn't get in there. We heard from Aiden tweeted that they didn't let you in, and they or
She's saying
Ted
the really
Daniel.
sweet things about you, but I have my AirPod in. I have my AirPod in. Let me take.
Oh
it
yeah,
out.
so just you got to disconnect. I think from the Bluetooth. We had this problem.
I did. Okay.
Okay, Jess, we heard Aiden tweeted that they wouldn't let you come back into the courtroom, and or Ted Daniel, and we're pissed about it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you get to hug our girl Kelly. Give her hugs from us.
Yes, we're so happy. We cannot stop hugging and crying, and it was brutal. And I didn't even know that they sentenced her. Jess had to tell me because I couldn't stop crying. I didn't hear what she said.
1 year probation.
I know.
1 year probation. The first decent thing that Hank Brennan has done since he took this case was say, I want her sentenced right now, and then say, I recommend 1-year probation and a 24D program or whatever the hell that means. And she's probably being processed right now in probation or wherever in the courthouse. And then as soon as they come out,
But I
we'll
can't
break
wait
the
to hug
steps.
Bill Reed.
I know, he's your cousin. People might not know that you're Bill's cousin, and you've been here since the beginning, and you've done so much to help Karen and raise money for the defense fund and sell popcorn, and you've done all of the things and all of this stuff.
It was
And
my pleasure. I would do anything for my family, and I wish for Karen whatever she's wishing for herself, whatever will make her heart and her soul happy now after what she's been through. I hope she gets it and then some.
wow.
What are they saying?
I don't know. I can't hear. What are they
I
saying?
think they're saying Bev needs to go.
Well, the gag order is gone, so batten down the hatches because I'm sure it's coming from all sides.
Yeah, I can barely hear you guys. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
All right. I just wanted to say hello and say thank you and tell you both how much I love you, and I appreciate everything you've done, the countless hours that you put into this and explaining it all legally and being there for us personally. I love you both.
We love you too.
Very much a part of this day and this movement and freeing Karen, especially you, Bederow.
Thank you.
Forever.
Thank you.
All right, I'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye, Cal. Talk later.
Bye.
Bye. I'm still here. It's just weird for me to be with next to myself
It's
on
nice
the screen.
to see, isn't it?
It really is. It's been a long time coming. All right, so I think it's. I don't know when they're going to come out, if ever. When, if ever, are they going to come out of the courthouse?
Their watch party
for a
Oh,
long time. I don't really care what's going on at their watch party, but yeah, we're waiting for that.
That
Yeah, we're waiting.
her heart as they look out to the crowd.
There we go.
To help keep folks away. State police cars, they brought them in next to the barriers to help keep folks away. They've done a great job, the folks, the state police and local municipal police that are working. And it looks like we might have some folks.
Here we go.
coming up. So why don't I throw it back to you guys?
Here they come.
Ronnie, thank you very much.
Here they
Welcome
come.
to the courthouse, you see Alan Jackson there and Karen Reed holding her right hand over her heart as they look out to the crowd. The other times that they've left the courthouse over the last few days, it's been to silence.
Look at the joy on
The
David's
crowd not to make noise so that they don't disturb the jury deliberations.
the whole time.
This time is different. This time, this is a victory walk.
This is.
She has been acquitted
Victory walk.
of all of the
Damn
murder
right.
charges in this case, convicted only of a lesser included charge of operating a vehicle under the influence. This crowd has waited a long time to hear from her. Let's listen in as well.
Number one is I could not be standing here without these amazing supporters who have supported me and my team financially and, more importantly, emotionally for almost 4 years. And the second thing I want to say is no one has fought harder for justice for John O'Keefe than I have and my team. Thank you.
Bill took his gum out. You know what that means.
The case cannot be reopened. This case is over. No, I mean, the case is marching for someone else. What did you say? I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it to Karen. Her dad. Her dad has a comment. Let her dad.
This is what I wanted to hear.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. I want to acknowledge the strength of our daughter Karen, the support of the entire Reed extended family. I want to acknowledge the greatest team of attorneys. Our first one that we found was David Yannetti. We added Alan Jackson and Liza Little. Bob Alessi, you know about, all right? It was a fantastic team, but we needed them all to defeat this. We thank everybody for their support from the heart. We love you all of the content providers who help spread the word. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Investigation. Let's do this.
Look at David. Wow. You never see emotion out of him.
I don't know who looked happier there, David Yannetti pumping his fists in the air.
That was awesome. Okay, let's see. Standby Mel says 7:15:54 is what you wanted to see. Let me see if I can get there. Seven. Earlier because he wanted me to come, and I said I can't abandon my people. And so there's Billy Bush on my show.
Even put on a collared shirt for that.
I had Billy Bush on my show earlier because he wanted me to come, and I said I can't abandon my people. And so they said, "Can Billy come to you?" And I said, "Yeah." So I had Billy Bush on for a while, and then I said, "Okay, I'll come on your show at 5 on YouTube." But they haven't sent me a link, so I don't know if it's happening. So I'll wrap what I got to do. You wrap what you got to do. I will catch you out on the tubes of you. Wear some pink, maybe, on all of your appearances tonight.
And I just before I go, if I may, the amount of people who follow, what you were broadcasting every day for the past few years, and were so loyal to hear what you have to say, and so much into knowing what do you think and your support. I know personally some of the bullshit you went through with some of these just low-life scumbags who, again, crawl out from under rocks and live on the internet and say terrible things and harass and whatever. And you're still here doing what you do. And I'm sure I speak for all these 60,000 or so people watching that we love what you do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I did get a very touching personal phone call that I will tell you about sometime, which I will not talk about, but it was a while ago. It was before and that, like I say, we do things that nobody knows about and we don't talk about and we don't kiss and tell, but you know it, I know it. And I love you, man. Thank you.
We'll
see you on the other side.
Bye.
See you on the other side. We're on the other side now. We're on the other side. That's a David Gray song. See you on the other side. This is just pointing out to myself that I need to get my hair blonder. I like it better blonder. Wow. So there were 60,000 people watching with us that day. The verdict, 60,000. I mean, that's our biggest chat ever. That's wild. You guys are amazing. You guys are awesome. I love you so much. We went through this whole entire experience together. This is why we all came together. This is why we are still here and we're still yelling about it. And there's so many other people that need to be freed, including Aiden. And I love David Gray too. And Lawsy said, I discovered the Karen Reed case randomly and I watched trial 2 with no background on the first trial. That's so interesting. Nor Melanie, Bederow, Turtle Boy, Nurse Kim, or the lawyers. Now I'm rewatching it with the commentary I didn't know existed. So many people don't know that it exists. Tell your friends. Thank you for tuning in from across the pond and for being interested. And thanks for Stand With Mel for standing with me. And you guys are awesome. And I love you so much. And I'm tired. This is our second stream of the day. And I love you guys so much. I don't know, my inbox is full of stuff that doesn't have anything to do with what we're doing right here. Maria, thank you for your Venmo. Says just because I love what you do. You guys are amazing, 100%. And thank you to the moderators for keeping it classy today. And there's some other things to cover, but I think maybe what I'll do is save the motion to dismiss for tomorrow because I just don't think I can read anymore because the motion to dismiss, the Haas defendant's motion to dismiss, is like a lot of reading. So I want to be able to read it to you with a fresh voice. So I think we'll do that tomorrow. I mean, if that interests you, maybe like around, I don't know, a noon tomorrow. What do you think? Make sure you have your notifications set. Make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube has been unsubscribing people. It's free. Just hit the subscribe button, hit the like button to smash it out. Hit the share button so that people can know about this Alex Greene case and leave your comments below. The comments help the algorithm as well. I Love Dog says, now we need to free Aiden. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I got to go back and listen to the Aiden Carney hearing because Belizos was talking about he thought the case had a good chance of being dismissed. And I think that I construed that to mean that he thought that Lindsay's case against Cosgrove, that if Cosgrove made a motion to dismiss, that it had a good chance of getting dismissed. But it may mean that he thinks that Aiden's case has a good chance of getting dismissed, but I'm not really sure. So I need to go back and clarify that for myself. Love you guys so much. You're the greatest, babies. You're the greatest. Once again, if you missed it earlier, the Queen, Catherine O'Hara, has passed away today at the age of 71. There's no cause of death, but she is so many. Let's just go to her IMDb for a moment, shall we? Schitt's Creek, Home Alone. 71. The older I get, the younger 71 is. She was in that show, The Studio. Has anybody watched that show, The Studio? It's been nominated for so many awards. I haven't watched it. Beetlejuice. So many old classics. Home Alone. Schitt's Creek. Best in Show. Tell me your favorite Catherine O'Hara performance. SCTV. Yeah. Amazing. All right, guys. Stay cool, stay kind, stay classy. Thanks to the moderators. Tip your servers. I'll be here all week. Love you with all my heart. And I'll see you really, really, really soon.